Clouds over TD Ameritrade, and it's fitting here for what is supposed to be a doubleheader day at the College World Series. Number 4 national seed Vanderbilt and North Carolina State. The Wolfpack 2-0 in this College World Series, trying to make it to the College World Series for the first time ever. But a developing situation. This was pregame, about an hour before scheduled first pitch. Elliott Avent, the head coach of North Carolina State, pulls his team over, pulls the guys out of the bullpen. A quick team meeting in the dugout to discuss this scenario due to health and safety protocols that will not have us starting on time, and it remains to be seen if we do. Tim Corbin, head coach of Vanderbilt, also already 2 national championships, talking with NCAA officials. Kamal Rocker, the scheduled starter, had begun his pregame routine. He was pulled out of the Vanderbilt bullpen by pitching coach Scott Brown. NC State retreated to the locker room. They have been both on the field and underneath the stadium for some time here pregame as Avent and North Carolina State officials and NCAA officials continue to discuss this developing situation due to health and safety protocols here at the College World Series. Who will be available for NC State if this game is played? We do not know. We do know this. North Carolina State has issued this statement. An undisclosed number of players from the team have been put into protocol and will be unavailable for today's game. North Carolina State, the NCAA, and appropriate parties are working together to monitor this situation. This is a developing situation. It continues to be discussed among North Carolina State, the NCAA, and Vanderbilt, the opponent for today. With that heavy news, we welcome to the broadcast booth Tom Hart, Chris Burke, and Ben McDonald. If North Carolina State is unable to play the rest of this College World Series, it would not be unprecedented. This has happened already this season in the NCAA men's basketball tournament. It happened in the women's volleyball tournament. It happened to both Michigan and Notre Dame in the men's ice hockey tournament. We don't know if this game will be played. We do know that North Carolina State will not be at full speed if they are able to play. And Chris, it's a devastating impact for this Wolfpack team sitting at 2-0 and in the catbird seat on the field.
Yeah, man, it's just a lot to digest, right? You feel for those kids, you feel for that coaching staff and the entire NC State family, because they're as hot as any team in the country, right? And then you get hit with this news and the uncertainty of it all, right? Or who's out? Are they going to play? Are they not going to play, right? And so you feel for what's going on inside that locker room right now.
For more on this, let's go down to the field. Our reporter, Chris Budden.
Well, I can tell you there is a lot of uncertainty in both dugouts, both coaches not really knowing what's going on or what they are waiting for. What we do know is that second baseman JT Jarrett and their closer Evan Justice are not at the ballpark today. I can also confirm that the players did not know what was going on or who would be available when they arrived today. I talked with Elliott Avent just a bit ago. He said he is crushed for players that will not be able to play today. But again, he doesn't know who that will be, who he will be without, as he is still waiting on news from the NCAA guys.
All right, Chris, thanks. The developing situation continues. JT Jarrett, the starting second baseman, Evan Justice, the closer for North Carolina State. They have 2 games to win 1 to make it to the championship round. It may be okay to hide a second baseman. You can't hide not having your closer for a team that doesn't have a ton of depth.
No doubt about that. I mean, Evan Justice has been the biggest part of this run. And remember, this is a team that's overcome so much. A rough start to begin the year in conference play. They got to go to Fayetteville, the #1 team in the country. They lose game 1. They overcome that as well. And now they win their first 2 games here in the College World Series. It looks like they're going to have to overcome even something bigger than that thing.
We don't know if this game will even be played or if NC State will have to be done for the rest of the season, and their season will come to premature end. But if they do play, how does this affect, do you think, this North Carolina State psyche? 2-0 in the catbird seat as underdogs, and now you're hit with this.
Well, I think it affects there's psychological battles, but also how are you going to manage your team, right? Especially without the closer piece, because Evan Justice has been the rock at the back end of the ball game. So you can see Elliott Avent has a lot to manage right now. I think from a player standpoint, they might have the easiest job, right? Once the ball gets thrown, they go out there and do what they've always done. But from a coaching staff standpoint, boy, they have a lot of hurdles to jump over right now.
This is devastating for Elliott Avent, a North Carolina native who grew up a North Carolina State fan. He worked on Jim Valvano's basketball staff when they won a national championship in 1983, excuse me. And he knew that they were in great position. He also knew they would be without Jarrett. When we met with him this morning, the other players that are now coming down the pike, especially closer Evan Justice, apparently, and due to our observations, were unknown at the time. And it is still unknown whether or not this game can be played today or if we're simply in a delay awaiting an opportunity for North Carolina State. We will keep you up to date with all the details that we can unearth here at the College World Series in Omaha. But for now, back to SportsCenter. Breaking news from the College World Series in Omaha. The game between North Carolina State and Vanderbilt, the first of a doubleheader today, will be played. It will start at 2:07 Central, 3:07 Eastern. It is an elimination game for Vanderbilt, but North Carolina State, due to health and safety protocols, is expected to be without numerous players. The North Carolina State coaching staff and administration in the dugout right now going over available players, while reserves, including Eddie Iser, getting some work in the cage. It is evident that multiple starters or key players for North Carolina State will not be available due to COVID protocol in this game. North Carolina State set out a release stating several players from the team have been put into protocol and will be unavailable for today's game. NC State, the NCAA, and appropriate parties continue to work together to monitor the situation. The news that the game will be played just came down moments ago and is a welcome relief that baseball will be played for the first of two today. Elliott Avent and his North Carolina State team 2-0, hoping to reach a College World Series Finals for the first time. They will have to do so with a limited roster. We will keep you posted from Omaha, Nebraska, and the College World Series. Vanderbilt and North Carolina State. The game is on, starting at 3:07 Eastern, 2:07 local time here in Omaha. Back with more later. For now, to Hannah Storm and Ryan Smith in SportsCenter. After an early afternoon of uncertainty, it is clear there will be baseball played at the College World Series today, and we will indeed start with number 4 seed Vanderbilt and North Carolina State. A very limited North Carolina State roster due to health and safety protocols. State down to 9 position players and just 4 pitchers for this 2-0 game for the Wolfpack. They have some wiggle room and need just 1 win in the next 2 to make it to the College World Series Finals. For more on all of the confusion today, let's go down to the field. Here's Chris Budden.
Yeah, I mean, there was confusion up until about 15 minutes ago when they arrived to the ballpark. They were unsure who was out, who would be available to play. But as you said, there will be 13 players in all. Elliott Avent asked those players if they wanted to take the field today or if they would like to forfeit and then play again tomorrow. They chose to take the field today. So we will see how all that plays out. But again, only 13 players available today for NC State.
And it won't be easy. They're facing one of the best pitchers in the country. Kamar Rocker will indeed get the ball for Vanderbilt. We are just about 11 minutes away from first pitch. Rocker is warm and ready to go. NC State will throw anybody on the field who has a uniform, and we'll see how that plays out for the Pack. They've got 1 loss to spare. We'll be back at the top of the hour to get you set for North Carolina State and Vanderbilt from the College World Series in Omaha. It is a College World Series unlike any other. North Carolina State scrambling to find players that can pass health and safety protocol will take the field today against number 4 national seed Vanderbilt. A delay to make sure North Carolina State could field a team today. And the option for the Pack, play or forfeit and come back tomorrow. The players have chosen to take the field. Last-second warm-ups for subs who haven't seen much playing time this season, let alone this postseason. Coaches got their heads together. They scramble to find a brand new lineup that includes starting pitcher Sam Heifel playing first base and others filling in as needed. Pack fans want to see a win in the worst way. They're 1 win away from the College World Series final, but they'll have to do it shorthanded against a loaded Vanderbilt squad. Welcome to the NCAA College World Series presented by Capital One. From Omaha, Nebraska, a little bit later than we expected, but good things come to those who wait, and this could be a monumental day for the Pack of NC State. Here's a look at the bracket. NC State 2-0, taking on 2-1 Vanderbilt. The Commodores with their ace going later tonight. Mississippi State and Texas, 7 o'clock Eastern on ESPN. Welcome, everybody. Tom Hart, Chris Burke, Ben McDonald. Take a deep breath. We're lucky that we do get baseball today between these two teams before the nightcap tonight. If you joined us late, here's the statement that North Carolina State put out this afternoon, right about when we were supposed to have first pitch. Several players from the team have been put into COVID-19 protocol, will be unavailable for today's game. NC State, the NCAA, appropriate parties working together to monitor the situation. We have counted a total of 9 position players and 4 pitchers available for this one and hope that they could have more cleared tomorrow. What a difference a lineup makes. There's a look at your Capital One batting order. It's got a bunch of new faces at the bottom of that starting lineup. Falskin, Highfill, Eisert, and Giles have combined to start only 8 games this year. To add some clarity, let's take you down to the field here at TD Ameritrade and Chris Budden.
So, Tom, as you said, only 13 players available for NC State today. Elliot Avent told me he gathered those players. He asked them if they wanted to take the field and play today or forfeit and have the option to play another game tomorrow in this double elimination format. Those players said, we all want to play. Avent said, remember, we only have 4 pitchers. They said, that doesn't matter, we want to play. Now, he did tell me his biggest concern is injury. So if he feels at any point in today he is risking injury, he will pull his team and forfeit the rest of the game. He told me he is crushed for those players. They are not getting an opportunity. They are hopeful there will be some clarity tomorrow, and possibly if there is a game tomorrow, they could get more players back.
North Carolina State has never made it to the College World Series Finals. They are 2-0. And seemingly in the catbird seat via record, but obviously everything has changed. Chris Burke, man, the mindset for North Carolina State and Elliot Avent, how do they play a game and focus on baseball after all this?
Well, it has to be tough, right? But number one, they want to, right? They've chosen to play, so you got to like that. Number two, this is not an elimination game for NC State. And number three, they could get some players back tomorrow, right? So let's just take the new guys. The new guys get a chance to go out there and get their feet wet. And, hey, let's see what happens.
And, oh, by the way, they get to see Kumar Rocker. Ben McDonald will take us a break and tell us what makes this big guy for Vandy so special.
Well, if it wasn't enough for NC State, now they got to face one of the best big game pitchers we've seen in a long time. The last time he was here, he pitched Vanderbilt to the College World Series title as a true freshman when he was the most outstanding player in the College World Series.
First pitch, finally, coming up next from Omaha. This beautiful setting belies the madness in Omaha today as we get set for this first game of 2. Batting order for the Vanderbilt Commodores brought to you by Capital One. They featured Dominic Keegan in the 3-hole.
Yeah, and Keegan, how about 4 homers and 11 ribbies this postseason? 5 for 14 with a homer and 2 ribeyes here at the College World Series. But the party always starts for the Commodores with Enrique Bradfield Jr., one of the most dynamic athletes in all of college baseball.
I usually go to Ben McDonald for a detailed scouting report. I'll ask you, what do you know about Garrett Payne?
Well, I know he's 6'7" and he weighs 187 pounds, so he's a long drink of water for sure. Making his first start of the year, he only has 6 appearances, and the last time he was on the bump, folks, game 1 of the Super Regional against Arkansas, he worked 2 1/3 and gave up 3 runs, walk run, and punched out 3.
Famously, the Cardiac Pack won the 1983 National Championship in basketball. This story, with all due respect to Jim Valvano, if they can pull this off, would eclipse even that in NC State lore. First pitch, strike to Enrique Bradfield, the leadoff hitter for Vanderbilt, one of the best base runners in the game of college baseball. Nothing and 2.
Just like that.
Little 3/4, so we're seeing him obviously for the first time. Low 3/4 slot, 6'7". Fastball away, a little sweeping breaking ball to get to 0-2.
Native of Charlottesville from the Miller School. A Virginia native. And now the 0-2 to Bradfield. Came in on it. At what point do the players on the field for North Carolina State who have not seen regular time, at what point do they settle?
It's going to take a minute. There's no doubt about it. I mean, just think about it. Like, not only have you not played in the College World Series, you haven't played. I mean, this is a team that pretty much ran 9 dudes out all year long.
Here we go.
So they're missing 4 regulars. We got Monday's starting pitcher at first base. The second baseman, Now you have your first baseman playing left. You got your left fielder playing center.
You got your third baseman at short. You got brand new double play combo and a new center fielder. Welcome to Omaha. Bradfield with a tapper, great speed. Here's Falskin, and he makes the play on his first attempt in just his second start.
Elliot Avent told me, he said, you watch the first play of the game.
He did.
To Carson Falskin. And sure enough.
Now that needs to be explained just a little bit. When we were in our meetings with Elliot Avent this morning, we were aware that they would be missing one player, JT Jarrett, the starting second baseman. We did not know, and I don't know that anyone knew, that it would balloon to this.
Correct. Still pretty cool. He called it.
He did. He knew. Here's the switch hitting shortstop Carter Young for Vanderbilt. All this talk about North Carolina State, we've kind of pushed Vanderbilt to the back burner. This is the defending national champion from Nashville.
Yeah, and they got to keep their edge, right? Because you still got a team across from you of Division I baseball players, right? And NC State is a top 20 program. So even if these kids haven't been playing, these are real recruits, recruited by one of the best coaching staffs in America. So yeah, they don't have experience. You still got 5 regulars on the field.
Yeah, and look, they own scholarship too. Don't forget that. And these kids have had look, the years of going back to travel ball and bouncing around some of your teams here. Now, you don't want to see it happen at the College World Series, but the way they've been playing lately, it's a lot of confidence. And look, nothing to lose at this point, right? They're in the catbird seat in some ways. Got an extra game to play with. Maybe, maybe not. They get some players back tomorrow. Who knows? But right now, it's just go out and play. There's not a whole lot of pressure, I don't think, because of what's going on. And the fan base has certainly gotten behind them. Every time they take the field in warm-ups, the NC State folks have gone nuts.
Well, they're trying to figure out who was going where in warm-ups, as were we. It kind of feels like a travel ball tournament and one of the minivans didn't show up.
Yes.
That is an empty.
Somebody got caught in traffic along the way.
It's very surreal.
Not only did Mama get a flat, but she's got all the key players with her. They're going to put the shift on here.
That's why you always divide your best players up in different cars.
Carter Young just 1 for 10 here at the College World Series with 5 strikeouts. And the Washington native fouls it back. I'm so excited to see how this game plays out for North Carolina State and the camaraderie among the guys left.
Oh, it's got a chance to be one of the most special stories you'll see in sports if they can pull this off.
Into the shift, Falskin, 2 down. Second start, first 2 balls right at it.
Well, if there's anybody that can pull this off and pull it together, it's Elliot Avent, right? 25 years at NC State. He has seen a lot. I don't think he's seen this before, but you know, if he can figure out a way here to rally his troops, and he's been able to do it all year long, and going to be an uphill climb for sure. You got to face Kumar Rocker, who, you know, potentially going to be a top 5 pick in the country here in a couple of weeks.
First baseman Dominic Keegan, 15 home runs in the season, 4 in the NCAA tournament. It was interesting as we were trying to figure out who would be in uniform for North Carolina State from the press box, and Chris Budden was doing it on the field. So were the Vanderbilt coaches, lined up the first railing, checking rosters and checking off numbers and names.
Yeah, they were truly scouting during infield outfield just to see, okay, are these real position players? Do we get pitchers playing spots? And really, Highfield's the only one that checks that box. Other than that, NC State's got a real team of position players out there.
And it's a good point about Vanderbilt, right? The tendency is to let your guard down a little bit, you know. And here at the College World Series, especially in the game of baseball, out of all our major sports, this is the one sport you can't take anything for granted because we have seen some special things happen.
2-1 to Keegan.
Well, and I think as you see Luca Tresh present that ball so well, what a advantage, right? Or advantage is the wrong word. At least they have their starting catcher, right? Because if you ended up in a situation where you had no catchers, that's when this thing could have really been awkward.
Don't know if they would have played. Up and in. Full count.
And remember, this is a Vanderbilt offense, y'all, that's had its struggles as of late. You know, we're used to seeing them throughout the regular season average well over 7 runs per game, but they're averaging less than 4 runs a game their last 5 games. The offense has not been clicking. The pitch has been really good, but the offense has not been the typical Vanderbilt offense that we have seen for most of the year.
They had to pull off a couple of walk-off wins. Keegan with a 2-out walk will extend this opening inning. Tim Corbin has a pair of national championships in his back pocket, but he's never had to scout a team pregame like this. Clipboard out, going down the list and trying to figure out who's going to be on the field for the opposition. His eyes were as busy as yours, Berkey.
Well, and I think obviously he has to do that, right? Because you're trying to identify outfield arms. But again, it's 2/3 of your normal starting outfield, and you got a guy that's a Gold Glove first baseman now in left field. So you figure he will represent himself well out there. I think defensively, North Carolina State will be fine. I think the issue will be with the 4 regulars out of the batting order. Can the offense click at the level that we're used to seeing them?
And the depth of your pitching,
yes,
right? And
of course.
That's another big one for me. In the perfect scenario, Payne, who has not had a big workload this year, he could give you 5 innings, but he hasn't been there this year. First start of the year.
Bottom half of the lineup will be a huge question mark when it comes to offensive production. To your all's point, 8 starts combined among the bottom 4, and Highfield, one of those. That was probably, slid in there for a DH start.
Yeah.
Never came to the plate.
But, hey, look, those first 5 can hurt you. And so Kumar's going to have to still make pitches.
The 1-1 to Troy Lanier. I don't know if Garrett Payne feels the pressure, but it's got to be extra important for him to be as efficient as possible in this game.
Well, the good news for him is when he got to the ballpark today, he knew that he wasn't going to pitch. And sometimes when you don't know and all of a sudden the bell rings and you got to get up quick and get going, you don't have that nervousness because you don't have time to.
We would hate to see this game end early, but you heard Chris Budden's report pregame that Elliot Avent has said if injuries become an issue, we'll just take the forfeit and come back and play tomorrow. He could also hold on to that card and fold if pitching depth becomes an issue in this game and they're trailing.
Yeah.
The big pot, a trip to the College World Series finals and a chance at a national championship.
Well, and Payne does have an outing this year. It was just 3 innings, but he has an outing against North Carolina where he threw 65 pitches. So, he is somewhat, he threw 34 in the Super against Arkansas, so he is somewhat stretched out.
Season high against North Carolina. The 1-2. Swing and a miss on 88. Garrett Payne gets to start in the College World Series, and he works his way around a 2-out walk. We'll see what the Pack has to offer at the plate next. Underway after a delay in Omaha, Nebraska. First of 2 in the College World Series. Mississippi State and Texas later tonight. Here's a look at the Capital One batting order for the NC State Wolfpack. A lot of new names in the bottom half, but regulars in the top half of this order.
Yeah, they are missing a number of key contributors, but they do have their All-American. Johnny Butler led the ACC in batting, but you're talking about missing Terrell Tatum, who hit the home run to give off of Jack Leiter last time they played Vanderbilt. But you got your leadoff hitter, Austin Murr, and you got your All-American in Johnny Butler.
Well, they're going to have their hands full, no matter who's in that lineup, because they're facing Kumar Rocker. And nobody in the country has any more wins, any more starts, or more innings pitched this year than Kumar Rocker. You see those 162 strikeouts? That's second best in the entire country, only behind his teammate Jack Leiter. It's an exploding fastball. We're going to see it 92 up to 97. But the difference maker and the pitch for him to keep on is that breaking ball. That slider, he does most of his work with.
It does take breaking news to take the spotlight away from one of the best in college baseball, Kumar Rocker, who has been sensational when the game matters. 2 NCAA tournament elimination games in his career, 2-0 with a .59, including a no-hitter against Duke a couple of years ago. Austin Murr leads off, normally the first baseman. He patrols left today for NC State. Junior from Denmark Township, Minnesota. .320 average, 7 home runs. It's not the lack of depth necessarily for North Carolina State, but the regularity with which Elliott Avent leaned on his starting 9 all season. They have contributed all 89 home runs, the normal 9, and all but 2 runs batted in. Swing and a miss on the breaking ball. C.J. Rodriguez will finish the strikeout. 1 down.
Well, there's Kumar Rocker right there. Get ahead with the fastball, finish you with that slider. And if you talk to any hitter that's facing, they say the slider is really, really tough to pick up. The spin almost looks like a fastball, and you will see a lot of swings and misses on that breaking ball in the dirt.
Here's Johnny Butler. And then a first pitch strike into Butler.
Tom, if it weren't for the lack of people in the NC State dugout, you wouldn't really know much was going on. They are amped, they are juiced, and after they took some swings in the cage, all the hitters got together and they said, we're going to do what we do. We're just going to score runs.
Yeah, I think that's really interesting, the camaraderie and the tightness that they need now more than ever. Butler at .379 hitter on the season. Mr. Steady. Chases the breaking ball. Kumar Rocker off to a Kumar start. Butler scrambled coming out of the batter's box. Hope he's okay. Well, pregame, home plate umpire Jeff Henricks was trying to get some help to Elliott Avent.
If you have any questions like on the DH rule or something when you're coming out, come out and help. We'll try to help you, okay?
I'll have some, yeah.
Yes.
I might have forgot more about it than Tony La Russa had.
Here's Luca Tresh. Tony did have some issues with extra inning rules this year. And pitchers batting. Luca Tresh, 15 home runs on the season, the catcher. In the 3-hole now. I think that's the other part of this batting order for NC State. Menchie, Tresh, both moved way up in the batting order from where they've been. And so from a production standpoint, those guys, instead of just being extra pieces, are going to have to be key components.
Oh, there's no doubt. I mean, look, you're missing Tyler McDonough. You're missing Jose Torres. You're missing Terrell Tatum we talked about. This is a lineup, JT Jarrett, obviously a lineup that one of their strength is their depth, that they can hurt you top to bottom. And so probably not the case today. I guess we'll wait and see how the bottom of this lineup fares. But again, as I said earlier, still a lot of juice here with this first 5 and tons of experience against big-time arms.
Outside.
3 balls and a strike. McDonough, starting center fielder, tied for the team lead in home runs. Jose Torres, first team all ACC shortstop, had the big hit 9th inning game-winning home run off Kevin Kopps to bring the Pack to Omaha. JT Jarrett, the starting second baseman, among others missing. Full count now to Luca Tresh.
But as weird as it sounds, when the fact that Vanderbilt's in an elimination game and NC State isn't, all the pressure has to be on Vanderbilt. They get the most famous pitcher in college baseball. They're the defending national champions. And you got an NC State team that's got, what, half their roster, right? So it's crazy that, you know, the pressure really is flipped from the team that you would think would be playing to get to their first finals.
And I think that was a message from Tim Corbin to his bunch, was like, hey, I know what's going on. You guys know what's going on. You guys know they've lost, but don't take them for granted. Come out and have the same approach, the same game plan, the same intensity that you would have no matter who you're facing.
It would seem the focus wouldn't be an issue for Vanderbilt today, given how they started their last game, and Tim Corbin had to read them right after the dugout. 3 strikeouts for Rocker in the first, all 3 coming on up, breaking ball in the dirt. Kumar being Kumar early.
Well, Kumar's got one of the best breaking balls. You know the fastball's good. It's mid-90s, but this is a difference maker right here, folks. That breaking ball throughout his career, he's been able to let in his pitch and got most of his big outs with it.
The NCAA College World Series is presented by Capital One. What's in your wallet? In a part by Dos Equis. Get a dose. Please enjoy responsibly. Well, it's a beautiful day for baseball after all. We had a lengthy rain delay last night that got us started extremely late. And a crushing loss for Virginia as Texas got a bases clearing double from Zach Zubia in the top of the ninth to win it 6-2. It'll be Texas and Mississippi State, 7 o'clock Eastern on ESPN. Javier Vaz leads off for Vanderbilt.
That's up.
And the first pitch from Garrett Payne misses up. Vaz making only his 8th start of the season for Vanderbilt. Tim Corbin kind of shuffled some guys around late in the season. And not only that, but some of his right-handers have really been struggling. So more opportunities for the lefties to get the start in this one.
Inside.
What do you think Corbin's thinking coming into this game? Take NC State's COVID situation out of it. Where does Tim Corbin in respect to what Vanderbilt has been doing offensively?
Well, I think it's interesting. You're talking about a team here in the Final Four, and yet he's still trying to figure out pieces that can stretch the lineup a little bit. And so Javier Vaz has been playing here a lot lately over the last few weeks because he keeps giving them quality at bats. The numbers aren't spectacular because he just hasn't played a ton, but you're talking about he's the reason they're still playing, right? The walk-off Brendan Beck kept the game alive the other day.
Well, remember, he got inserted about regional time, and not for offense, for defense, to put him in the outfield, to have a little bit more speed, a guy that can cover a little bit more ground. Well, he's raised his batting average 100 points since the regionals because he didn't have many at-bats, but he's been hitting the ball too, so it was a defensive move that has paid off, but offensively, as you mentioned, a big game, and he was big in the regionals, he was big in the super regionals for him as well.
Vandy needs all the help it can get, which sounds weird to say, as this ball's rocketed into right field. Brown! Oh! Wow! Devontae Brown! Take a bow!
You don't think the boys are ready to play? They don't care. They don't care what's going on. They said, you know what? We're going to take the field today, and we're going to go play.
That was spectacular. An absolute rocket off the bat of Vaz. And Devontae Brown goes Superman style to make that play and erase extra bases from the Commodores.
Here's C.J. Rodriguez. You know, every year in Omaha, one team captures the locals' attention and hearts, and you get all the folks that don't have rooting interest pulling for you. Easy to see with plays like that. And this situation for State, that they're going to pull those neutral fans over to their side today.
Well, that's all you need to see right there. That effort tells me everything you need to know about NC State and where their mentally where they are right now and what their mindset is. And their mindset is we're going to line it up and we're going to go play like we have so many times this year.
Catcher C.J. Rodriguez has been sensational defensively. I mentioned a moment ago that not much room for error for this Vanderbilt team, but they have survived. Each of Vandy's last 7 matchups have been one-run contests entering the 9th inning. 2 walk-offs here in Omaha for Vanderbilt, and lost a 1-0 thriller to State earlier this College World Series. Here's Devontae Brown again.
Well, the first step, always the first one. He got a really good one, and the timing was perfect as he laid out to catch this ball. Watch this. Right off the left foot. Catches it almost a little bit behind him as well. And you know your starting pitcher, all 6'7" of him. And Garrett Payne appreciates that.
First start for Garrett Payne as Parker Nolan comes to the plate. Ben, you mentioned that Payne came out of the dugout a little late for a normal starting pitcher before this half inning.
Yeah, you know, but so far the moment's not been too big for him. We watched him in the dugout, watched him come back on the field. He seems to be nice and calm.
Rodriguez not likely to run, just 1 stolen base in 1 attempt this year. Lined into center. Butler's turn. Caught that one chin high. 2 down.
Well, and this is the formula, right? You got an offensive Vanderbilt not clicking on all cylinders. if you can fill up the zone and play defense behind them, you got a ballpark that traditionally plays big and will not give up, right? Easy home runs. You got an outfield that can really run, and you never know. Get this thing in the middle innings. Keep it within striking distance. Again, you just feel like the pressure has to be on Vanderbilt's shoulders. Not only elimination game, but, of course, the circumstances as well.
Rodriguez at first, Spencer Jones at the plate.
Attaboy, good job.
Jones, a 31st round pick of the Angels coming out of high school in 2019, where he was a 4.0 student. 6'7", 225 from Encinitas, California. In and out of the lineup. Jones makes his 23rd start today. The 0-2 to short. Menchik. No problem. No problem. You got Devontae Brown making plays like this.
The Wolfpack, ladies and gentlemen. You just never know. Could be a special afternoon here in Omaha. Devontae Brown. Big time play.
For more coverage of the College World Series and interactive brackets, go to NCAA.com. 64 teams started this NCAA tournament. We're down to 4. Devontae Brown leads off the second. Kamal Rocker struck out the side in the first, got them all on that breaking ball in the dirt. It has been a devastating pitch for Rocker over the course of his career. And by the way, what an opportunity to be giant slayers for NC State. They have beat ace after ace after ace.
Yes, they have. Yeah, I don't think they're intimidated. When you got to face Kevin Kopps and Beck, Leiter,
One-two to Brown. Didn't chase, and it just missed. 2-2.
Well, Kumar thought it was, and certainly Rodriguez thought it was strike 3 too. Kumar had already started to bounce toward first base, looking for his 4th consecutive strikeout.
Well, he'll get his 5th. All 5 swinging, but Ben, aces have been taken down by the pack. Starting with Kevin Kopps at Arkansas.
No doubt. And they knocked Kevin Kopps off. Of course, in game 3 is his only loss of the year. One of the probably most impressive seasons we've seen by a pitcher in a long time. And then it was the Pac-12 pitcher of the year. And Brendan Beck, and then Jack Leiter, of course. Now, Jack Leiter went 8 innings, punched out 15. He was pretty good, but still couldn't get any runs from Vanderbilt. He lost 1-0. So that's 3 real aces, 2 of which are Golden Spikes finalists. And Leiter and Kumar Rocker.
Gave up a solo home run to Terrell Tatum, who is not available today for North Carolina State.
Yeah, don't forget the guy who beat Leiter is playing first base today.
Of course he is.
Uh-oh, and we get to see him swing the bat. Leiter's probably over there going, man, I wish I could hit today.
Wojtek Menchik at the plate for North Carolina State.
To Ben's point, this is an NC State team that appreciates the underdog, the undervalued position. They went into Ruston. No one thought they could do that. They go into Fayetteville, knock off the #1 team. So this is a team that really embraces that role.
You could argue it goes all the way back to their first College World Series appearance under Sammy Esposito in 1968. We're in the pregame head coaches meetings, they would go around and everyone would decide what uniforms they're going to wear for that specific game. And every time it came to Esposito, he'd say, I think we'll wear the red pinstripes with the red cap. The reason he never changed because that was the only uniform North Carolina State had. And here's an underdog. Wojtek Menchik, who came over from Brno in the Czech Republic, was scouted when he was playing for the Czech national team, and they played a fall scrimmage against the Pack a few years ago. Down the line, that is a foul ball. Oh my goodness. They want to review it, but here's the thing. The way the college rule is written, it's not based on where the bag is. It's based on where the third baseman is positioned. Anything that comes down in front of the third baseman can't be overturned. Why it's not the bag, I don't know, because that is what he got.
I don't know, but that looked like that to me. That hit the line, right on the inside or the outside of the line. Take another look at it.
You can't review it unless you can't review ground balls, right? Only balls past the position of the fielder.
Of the corner fielder. Well, now once again, why it's not the bag itself hasn't been clearly explained to us in years doing this, because the bag is the only stationary. Fair or foul beyond a base is reviewable, but the way it's written, it's the fielder, not the base.
Well, yeah, and that was obviously the ball bounced 5 feet from home plate. So, I guess the only way this gets overturned is home plate umpire.
Wow.
All right, so you can get together and say, hey, you missed the call without going to video replay.
Right. So this is not a video review. This is just
a correction.
Yeah, Jeff Heinrich's getting together with Travis Katzenmeyer and changing the call.
If NC State, given everything that has gone wrong for the Pack today, is going to win this game, borderline calls have to go their way. And this is like the U.S. Open. It's like Wimbledon. You can see exactly where it is.
But I love what Chris Hart did. He's pointing to the mark on the chalk.
Yeah, he's
right?
showing it to him. Maybe that was enough. There's the mark. See the mark about a foot behind third base right there? That's where the ball hit.
Here it is right here. So the ball bounced right in front of home plate. Now here's the second bounce, and it just hits right on the outside edge of the white line.
Yeah, you could see it.
The line is in fair territory. Hits the chalk. It's a fair ball. And now review is going to buzz down to the umps. You can see the chalk fly up. What is Tim Corbin's position for this? Because you have the opportunity on any play to get together as a crew and correct a missed call if somebody else has a better look at it.
He's showing him the mark right there.
Tennis on a clay court, right? Well, Corbs is doing exactly what you would expect him to do. I mean, the ball was called foul initially, and he's trying to figure out he wants to know who changed it and why on a play that's not
video reviewable. That's right.
Video reviewable.
Replay Center has stated it is a non-reviewable play. And they are letting the on-field umpires who have the headsets on know that it is non-reviewable from what we're told. Oh, what do we got? Based on the line of discussion, I don't think this is good news for L.A. Davis.
No.
replay center has told our production truck that they can't change the call on the field.
Call on the field's foul. They get together. They don't review it, video. They just, the umpires meet. They change the call on the field.
Because of the mark, you think?
Because of the mark. And then now they're being told that
even though there's visual evidence that the ball did hit the mark, but they're being told they can't change it anyway.
Chris Hart's being told to go back to the coach's box. Jeff Heinrichs doesn't want to hear from him. They'll bring Menchik back to the plate.
Now, if you're NC State, how many bad breaks can you get in a day? You know.
Well, listen, one foul ball. Although they need every break they can get, one foul ball is just minor in comparison.
Boy, and I give Elliott Avent a lot of credit, man. That he is continuing to keep his cool, and that's something you could see where you could really get heated about, right? They changed the call on the field. But I credit Tim Corbin because he absolutely, if you're in his dugout, you have to come out there and question why they would change it.
If it's not replayable, then
yeah,
it wasn't called. It wasn't changed. It was changed twice.
Wojtek Menchik, sophomore from Brno in the Czech Republic, back at the plate with a 2-2 count. And he ends up striking out. 5th K for Rocker. Kamal Rocker seems focused.
Yeah. He's a little amped up, and that's the first strikeout on the fastball. Everything's been the breaking ball, but that was 9-5er there. That's his best fastball today, and he can turn it up when he wants to. Watch this, just a good old four-seam fastball. Rodriguez says, big fella, give it to me right here on the outside part of the plate, and I'm going to tell you, you can't do it any better than that.
And now Carson Folkson at the plate. 2 down. Second start of the season for Folskin. Apologies. And just the 10th game the freshman from Newbury Park, California has played in. Elliott Avent said he might be a California kid, but he fits in with us because he's an avid duck hunter, even though he's got to travel hours away from his home to get in the blind. Two and two.
And we'll see how long Mr. Rocker goes in this one, but we got a chance to punch out the side in the first 2 right here. Could be one of those special afternoons for Kamal Rocker in this ball game. 1 pitch away from striking out the first 6.
Got him at 94, maybe a ball or 2 off, but regardless, back-to-back fastballs for strike 3. Kamal Rocker has struck out every batter he has faced.
It's turned into a terrific game, 6-6. Here is Jason Gonzalez. Slow roller, it's through. Jason Gonzalez will win it in the bottom of the 12th, and what a night for the 9-hole hitter. Carter Young with a chance to win it for Vanderbilt. Oh, he sailed it over his head. Bencher Jones scores. Vanderbilt alive. They win it 6-5.
Nothing short of drama for Vanderbilt in everything they've done in the postseason. 7 straight, by the way, 1-run games entering the 9th inning. Jason Gonzalez at the plate. Here's where I think the umpires got all of that wrong. Appendix E of the college baseball rulebook, getting the call right. The ultimate decision to change a call rests with the umpire. There are 8 scenarios where you can change a call on the field without instant replay. Number 8, changing a call of foul to fair. They called it foul. They knew it was fair. They changed it to fair, and then they changed their mind back. According to the rule book, that is a misinterpretation of the rules.
And it was obvious that Chris Hart pointed out to them that this wasn't, I think, right? They had a mark on the third base line.
And the reason that's in the rule book is simple. If the situations that I just explained, meaning number 8, fair foul, a partner who's 100% certain he has additional information unknown to the umpire making the call should approach unsolicited, alert the other umpire to such information, and the calling umpire can make that change.
And he did.
He did. And then they reversed it. Here's Jason Gonzalez batting in the 9-hole. He's not your typical 9-hole hitter. He has come up with some huge at-bats in his Vanderbilt career.
Yeah, and specifically here at the College World Series, we just showed his walk-off base hit to beat Arizona. Has a homer and 3 ribbies. One of the more dangerous 9-hole hitters you will find.
Eight home runs, 2 of them in the postseason, and Garrett Payne comes up with a huge strikeout, second K. First trip through the order, Garrett Payne in his first start hasn't allowed a hit. Here's Chris.
Tom, the frustration's starting to add up in this NC State dugout. They've been so good about remaining positive until this last time. After that call, things thrown, things said, it's starting to pile up for them.
Corners are in for Enrique Bradfield. A bright spot has been Garrett Payne. NC State only has 4 pitchers available for this game of the College World Series. They are undefeated 2-0. This is double elimination. They can afford a loss and come back and try again tomorrow. Bradfield fouls one off. He grounded out to second his first time up.
Well, Garrett Payne's showing you 3 different pitches. So we've seen the fastball, mostly on arm side. Low breaking ball, kind of sweeps it across. It's more of a horizontal break than it is vertical. And then he's got a changeup we've seen 3 or 4 times today.
Bradfield, freshman of the year in the SEC from Hialeah, Florida, out of American heritage. We were talking a few days ago about the great football history of American heritage. They have 5 NFL draft picks this year. And he flicks this one foul, stays 1-2. Are you seeing something different from Enrique Bradfield in Omaha or in the postseason that you saw in the regular season?
Yeah, it's been interesting. I mean, he swung the bat. He swung the bat very well, but for whatever reason, just has not pulled the trigger on the base paths. We've been seeing Mike Antico from Texas running all over the place. Enrique Bradfield yet to attempt a stolen base here in Omaha.
Giles has room. Checked the railing and made the catch with a little lean. 2 down.
Well, all's well that ends well. D'Angelo Giles, not exactly the smoothest route to finish in that playoff. Tons of foul territory here at TD Ameritrade. You got to avoid the umpire. You got to find the boundary. You got to look again. A little bit of a stumble, but a heck of a play to finish that one off. Ooh.
They'll bring Carter Young to the plate. Also of note, all of this happened with North Carolina State with guys being pulled off the field very late. They did take infield, outfield, but it's not like they had a full batting practice with the limited roster where guys who are playing for the first time here in Omaha could get used to the field, the dimensions, the sight lines, any of that.
Yeah, I mean, look, Giles and Falskin are infielders. They've been out here taking pregame and working out all week. They just haven't been out there in game reps, and we know how different that can be.
We saw a little infield practice, though. Yeah. They get some reps in.
To first, Highfill, starting pitcher playing first, takes care of it. And Sam Highfill will get his first plate appearance of the season. He will lead off the third. No score between Vanderbilt and NC State. Bottom of the third, 0s across the board for both sides. Vanderbilt in a must-win situation. Sam Highfill will get a chance to swing the bat.
Yeah, why not? He's pretty good on the bump. He was really good the other night against Vandy. He had a good fastball. We saw it up to 94 miles an hour. He spun his breaking ball. Look, he even dropped down a few times, too. So a little different arm slide, a changeup, running down away from the left-handers. And he had a really good four-seam fastball. But the ability to change speeds was the difference for him. So he used that fastball both on the inside and the outside part of the plate. And now he's going to put a helmet on.
Little throwback here?
Yeah, hit 360 as a high school senior. So, you know, was a two-way star back in the high school days.
We're not sure whose batting helmet he's wearing. We believe it might be Jose Torres's. Starting shortstop, unavailable today. Ben, you pitched in the big leagues for a while. You even had your own bat.
I did. I don't know why, but I had one. Look, pitchers love to hit. You know, and I don't know if you want to hit off Kumar Rocker every day. You know, you'd rather see some 88 with just an average breaking ball, but how about that?
And a knock for Highfield. First of the game for NC State.
Unbelievable. He punched out the first 6, and your starting pitcher goes up there and hits a backside bullet to break up the no-no.
And a guy that doesn't have an at-bat all year long, you take one of the best pitchers in college baseball, borderline even strike, and how about that? Just goes down and drops a barrel on it down the right field line. And you know the Wolfpack boys appreciate it.
It ain't that hard, fellas. Just keep your nose down and hit a rocket to right.
Best athletes.
Let's not get carried away.
Eddie Isert making just his second start of the season at the plate. Didn't we tell you all along it was going to be the bottom of the order? It was going to do damage for State.
So Highfield had 0 at-bats. Isert has 5 at-bats on the year. And Giles in the 9-hole has 10 at-bats. So 15 at-bats by your bottom 3 in the whole season.
Isert 0 for 5. He got a start as a DH against Clemson on April 3rd. And he drew a walk against Arkansas in the Super Regional. Rocker dispatches him with another breaking ball. That is strikeout number 7.
Well, that's where Kumar Rocker makes his living, with that pitch right there. And see, it's a different kind of breaking ball. So most sliders will go vertical down like that, but more right to left. And that's what separates Kumar's breaking ball from most others. It's almost a straight down vertical drop, and that's what really fools the hitters. I felt like Kumar Rocker, you know, his freshman year was real innocent when he came. Just fastball breaking ball. Not really, maybe not understanding how big moments are that he pitched in. He kind of got in the groove his freshman year, just oblivious to everything. But I think now it's different for him because he realizes this is his last year. This is his last chance to do it again. And I think it's more meaningful to him now because he understands how big college baseball is. His decision to go to Vanderbilt, and he turned down, obviously, a ton of money out of high school. Could have been a top 10 pick. Chose to go to Vanderbilt 3 years ago. But now he realizes where he is back at the College World Series. And he's trying to pitch it to back-to-back national titles for Vanderbilt.
Facing D'Angelo Giles, who's just 1 for 10 on the season in a count 1-2. Have you seen, and you've done his postseason games already, Ben, a more focused Kumar Rocker in postseason games?
I think so. And I see a little bit of different picture, too. Obviously, the experience that he brings to the table of being here before. But also, he was just strictly a 2-pitch guy 3 years ago. Just fastball, breaking ball. Now you'll see a little cut fastball from time to time. You'll see a changeup as well. So he's got 4 pitches. It's still fastball, slider, heavy. But I feel like he can manipulate that breaking ball at times where he can take a little bit off and throw it like a 90% max effort and have a little bit more break to it. And then he can dial it up and throw the hard one. It was a little bit later, but almost just straight down break.
8 strikeouts, 6 of them on this breaking ball.
Here's another one of those straight down breaking balls, and you could just tell Giles is swinging at a fastball, thinks this is a heater that's belt high, and by the time it gets to home plate, it takes a nosedive. 8 out of the first 9, folks. We got some legendary stuff maybe unfolding for us in front of us here.
Rocker struck out the first 6, the first to do that since Virginia's Danny Holton in 2011 against South Carolina. Here's Austin Murr, a view from UmpCam. You want to watch more UmpCam? You can catch every pitch from UmpCam all tournament long on the ESPN app. Thanks to Jeff Heinrichs for wearing the camera for us today. Leadoff single for Sam Highfield. And this one lifted to left will find the seats.
You ever strike out 9 of your first 10?
I don't think so.
One pitch away right here. And the only non-punch out is the guy who beat him 1-0 on Monday. It's pretty wild stuff here to get this one started.
You think Heiffel's running?
No.
Ball. Just off, 1-2.
Sam Heifel, I got to believe, is scheduled to be the starting pitcher tomorrow. So this is under no circumstances do you put yourself in a situation where you can get hurt running the bases.
Pulled to the right side. Nolan's got it. Not a strikeout, but Kumar Rocker remains on cruise control. He struck out 8 of the first 9. He's allowed 1 hit through 3. Welcome back to the NCAA College World Series presented by Capital One. Drone heads up the Missouri River here in Omaha. Fantastic work. The pedestrian bridge will take you over to Iowa if you so choose. Vanderbilt trying to make it to the weekend, a win here, and they'll force a decisive game tomorrow with NC State. Dominic Keegan, Troy Leneve, and Javier Vaz due up for Vanderbilt here in the 4th. Nothing doing so far for the Vandy offense against Garrett Payne. How anxious is Vandy to get some offense and the impact that has on how long Kumar Rocker goes in this one?
Yeah, I think it's an interesting kind of subplot in this ball game, right? Because we all know the circumstances. Now, we're not sure what tomorrow looks like, but you got to think at the least it's going to be still a very limited North Carolina State roster, right? So, you know, in a perfect world, if you're a Vanderbilt fan, you put up a big number early in this ball game, and Kumar Rocker doesn't have to go late and high in the pitch count. And maybe if you're able to get to the finals and get to a game 3, you could get significant work from him again in that game. That
would be perfect scenario for Vanderbilt. But this offense, I'm just telling you, it is not the same offense we saw 2 months ago.
Keegan pulls one down the line. That's a foul ball.
And you knew that was coming. A little sarcastic laugh from the Wolfpack faithful. Or cheer, I should say.
Dominic Keegan, a junior from Methuen, Massachusetts, at a Central Catholic high school. Would have been facing State more often had Virginia Tech not let Pat Mason, their head coach, go a few years ago. Originally committed to be a Hokie. Decommitted after that coaching change. Ends up on Nashville's West End. And he got off to a rollicking start despite the fact that he missed time with COVID. It was complicated due to the fact that he has had vascular injuries in his past. Vanderbilt takes students and moves them into a different facility. So he was in there on his own in a room. He took a drop net with him, some dumbbells, seclusion for 10 days, still got his swings. Oh, Heifel can't pick it up. A pitcher over at first. And Keegan reaches to start the 4th.
Well, you got a pitcher at first, so you got a third baseman at short, and there's our first real test, right? Wojta Minshik playing shortstop instead of third base, does everything correct, just kind of short arms the throw a little bit. A bullet hit right at him, does a nice job. Watch the shuffle. It just throws it short. And Heifel maybe could have gone out there and caught that ball in the air a little bit. Does a nice job of striding towards the baseball. And that one just catches him in the heel. A tough chance. And Vanderbilt has the leadoff base runner.
Here's Troy Leneve, struck out swinging, and he drops a bunt down to third. Giles has it. One down. Keegan advances.
Well, when you see a pitcher for the first time, and Vanderbilt probably didn't do a whole lot of prep work for Gary Payne because he was not supposed to pitch in this game, but it's been some sweeping sliders on the arm side, so he's been able to get that backdoor breaking ball going right to the front door on the right-hander. So there's a lot of first pitch sliders to get ahead, and then he's going up in his zone he's needed to, so it's been kind of slow it down with the slider and then work the fastball to the upper part of the strike zone. And Gary Payne is doing some work right now, folks.
undone by the error to start the inning with Vaz coming to the plate. What does that sacrifice bunt from Leneve tell you about Tim Corbin's thinking?
He wants to get on the board, right? He wants to play with the lead. I also think you start the inning with an E6 from a guy who's been playing third base all year. Then you got a guy playing shortstop. Now you got a guy playing third base that hasn't played very much. I think part of the Vanderbilt game plan might be to make these guys play catch. Like let's test them and see where they're at. And that was a nice job by Giles there of making a strong throw across the high field.
Vaz flew out to right field his first time up. Might be a little early to ask you this question, Ben, but what do you think's fair to expect from Payne in terms of production today?
Well, I think if they can get 70 pitches out of him, I think that's about all you can get, because he hasn't been stretched out that much. And I think for me, they get 5 innings out of him, and he gives up 1 run, or certainly keeps throwing up zeros. That's all you can expect.
Good.
There are reports that North Carolina State could expect to clear more players for tomorrow's game. We don't know who those players would be. We don't know if that's technically possible at this point, but it's certainly going to play into Elliott Avant's thinking when it comes to managing this bullpen. Beautiful pitch, 0-2.
Well, we saw how Elliott Avant managed his pitching staff in game 1 of the Super Regionals against Arkansas, right? I mean, they got beat 21-2, and it's not that he gave up. He just threw some guys that don't normally get to throw because he realized that game 1 might have been out of reach, and he saved his guys. He saved his dudes, and he knew he had some dudes left, and they were able to knock off Arkansas, the #1 team in the country, in Fayetteville, and win the final 2 games of that Super Regional.
Tap back to the mound, look to third, throw to first, 2 down. Keegan advances 90 feet on the ground out.
Boy, Garrett Payne has answered every challenge to this point. He's filling the zone up. He's changing speeds. Now he's fielding his position, right? He's shown great body language after error to lead off the inning, which can sometimes be deflating when you know you're up against an ace like Kumar Rocker. And now he's got a chance to post a 0 and throw 4 shutout to start this ball game.
Here's Vandy catcher C.J. Rodriguez.
Boy, it's been more of the same, and it's going to be interesting how Vanderbilt starts to react, and can they make adjustments the second time through the lineup, because it's almost every pitch is a first pitch breaking ball for a strike.
Nothing in 2.
It's almost the same sequence, so it's breaking ball, strike 1, and the elevated fastballs to get ahead.
Hey, right here, you and me.
Well hit down the left field line and into the seats.
It's really interesting the way Payne has changed speeds, and so far from Vanderbilt, they're early on the breaking ball and late on the heater.
And they're not offering it many breaking balls either, especially early. Like, he's just kind of flipping get me over breaking balls in there, and they've taken a lot of them. Now you got to swing at them 2 strike counts.
That one will get through. Vandy will grab the lead. C.J. Rodriguez with an RBI single.
And that was huge. C.J. Rodriguez just making a minor adjustment, right? I can certainly see the Wolfpack going back to the breaking ball after he was way out in front of it on the previous offering. But just doing a really nice job there of extending the life of the barrel. Watch the top hand release. So there's the breaking ball just kind of sitting there. Watch this top hand release. Getting that back knee, release the top hand, which keeps the barrel square so you don't roll it over. And just enough to get it through the 6-hole. The difference between a ground ball to third base and a line drive to left oftentimes is that barrel staying square just an extra click longer.
Here's Parker Nolan, 0 for 1 with a hard hit ball to center field on a line out to Johnny Butler. Nolan, sophomore from Knoxville, Tennessee, out of Farragut High School, 31st round pick of the Marlins in 2019. Line drive to left, and that one's down. Back-to-back hits, the first 2 of the game for Vanderbilt against Garrett Payne.
Well, here's your adjustments, right? I mean, you see it the first time through, and you start to make some adjustments. And the backside approach off of a guy that you don't know that much about is probably a good idea. And a pretty good backside approach that was.
65 was the season high for pitches for Garrett Payne. Clint Chrysler, the NC State pitching coach, 3rd season at NC State.
Well, if we were wondering what the pitch limit was for Garrett Payne, I think we got a pretty good idea of the fact that nobody's warming up in the bullpen.
Right. If this becomes an unwinnable game for NC State, or seemingly unwinnable, do they continue playing?
That's a tough one.
It's a great question.
I mean, what's unwinnable? 8, 10, 12? I mean, I don't think you cash in your chips at 6. But
no,
what we don't know is who they think they could get back tomorrow. That's the piece that makes it very hard to forecast.
I think what makes it unwinnable is if you give up a slew of runs and Rocker continues to be Rocker. I would feel differently if this were a 7-game series. It's only down to a 2-game series. It does NC State no good to stretch Rocker out. That only benefits the next opponent. (1-0) hit him. They will get action in the bullpen. Dalton Feeney is available for North Carolina State. He will head out. There are only 4 pitchers available.
But you know, Tom, you bring up a good point. Like it is different because it's only 2 games if they're unable to win this one, but it is another game. So if you can keep it close and get to, say, Maldonado, right? Then you know, maybe you can at least.
You can burn other arms.
Yes, maybe you can get into the bullpen enough where you do limit Tim Corbin's options for tomorrow.
Yeah, that's a great point. Vanderbilt, if they only have to use Rocker today, would have fresh, talented arms out of the pen, and also allow them to save Leiter for a championship series appearance. Jason Gonzalez at the plate, bases loaded, 2 down. That one gets to the backstop past Tresh. Rodriguez will come home. It's 2-0 Vanderbilt. And I realize it's only 2-0. I don't want to put the cart before the horse, but it feels like it's a larger deficit than that already.
Yeah, and it feels like it can get away in a hurry, and that's the danger. You know, and the danger with trying to keep it close is you do make Vanderbilt maybe burn some arms, but as you guys said, the big question for me is what do you have in your bullpen? And the longer this goes, the more arms you have to use, and you don't know what's going to be available to you tomorrow.
What do you value more, your bullpen arms or theirs? Here's the 2-0 to Jason Gonzalez with first base open. Devontae Brown racing towards the line, now got a push, and he makes a catch against the railing. Vanderbilt has opened up a 2-0 lead. We'll talk with their head coach Tim Corbin when we return to Omaha. It's a 2-0 lead for Vanderbilt over NC State as we head to the home half of the 4th inning. Vanderbilt head coach Tim Corbin has the headset on down in the dugout. Corbs, what a weird scene here at the ballpark before the game as NC State had to determine who they could play. How did that change your pregame routine scouting the squad before the game started?
Well, not much. I mean, we just had to wait and find out who they were going to play more than anything else, watch them take infield. So positionally, we knew who was in place, and it's still got a lot of starters in the game.
Well, from a message standpoint, this is obviously a brand new scenario. How did you center your team with all that was going on?
Not a whole lot. I mean, they were in the locker room and they were calm and just went in there, communicated to them what the situation was going to be. But it's, what we can do is the control piece, and that's really all that matters.
Coach, thanks for your time. We appreciate it.
Thank you.
Let's say Coach Tim Corbin for Vanderbilt. If you joined us late, NC State, due to health and safety regulations and COVID protocols, is down to just 9 position players and 4 starters for this game. They are 2-0 in the College World Series. They could at any point forfeit this game and move to a deciding game tomorrow, especially if they run into any injury issues in this game. Johnny Butler gets to start in center field in this game, normally the left fielder. He's 0 for 1 with a strikeout against Vanderbilt superstar Kumar Rocker. Two and 1 now to Butler, who's homered in his College World Series and driven at 14 home runs on the season. Elliott Avent knew that they would be down at least 1 player, and we met with him this morning. At that point, to the best of our knowledge, it was only their starting second baseman. That list ballooned.
Still 2-2.
Butler from Shanahan, Illinois, Manuka High School. And he muscles one into right. Lanive will get there in time. 1 down with Tresh coming up. He was the release that NC State sent out before the game. Several players have been put into COVID protocol, will be unavailable today. NC State, the NCAA, and appropriate parties are working together to monitor the situation. Luca Tresh 0 for 1 at the strikeout. Starting catcher now batting in the 3-hole.
Ball.
So, Tom, we knew about JT Jarrett, but that's all the players knew when they arrived at the ballpark. Elliott Avent had a possibility of 1 more player. He had not told the team that yet to kind of keep morale up, and then that's when everything started to happen. We were hearing word that other players might be involved, but no one in this NC State dugout knew, other than Jarrett, that there would be a possibility of more players missing today when they arrived.
So major changes in the NC State batting order. And oh, by the way, you get to face Kumar Rocker, who struck out 8 of the first 9.
But yet here they are, right? And short of a wild pitch that, I think Tresh would probably agree he probably could have got in front of. You got to be pleased if you're Elliott Avent, considering that you're still right in the middle of this ball game.
Well, and if the error's not made at shortstop, right? That's 2 runs on the scoreboard. Both of them are unearned runs.
Jason Gonzalez at third. 2 down.
So, a lot of the buzz in baseball today is going down to a knee, which I'm fine with nobody on base. But if you see Luca Tresh, he's got bases loaded, runners on third base, and he's on his knee. Because of that, he can't get around that baseball. You can't move laterally when you're on your knee, and that is a run in a bracket final in the College World Series. It's very surprising to me. I'm in on the modern day get to a knee with nobody on base, but especially a runner on third, that you would be down to a knee. You know a breaking ball's coming, right?
I agree. And I got to be able to bounce that breaking ball in the dirt to get the strikeout sometimes. So I would like to see you up, but it's where they are now because you see it every day in Major League Baseball. Guys are on a knee. And I know those guys are a little bit better, a little bit older, but still, I don't know how you can move on a knee like that when a ball that gets away a little bit, and especially with a runner at third base where one ball gets by you, it costs you a run.
You see C.J. Rodriguez do it regularly. I was talking to him about it the other day, and he said it's especially important with Kumar on the mound. He said he started doing it last fall, and in his eyes, it's his best way to receive the low pitch. Once again, we're talking with bases empty.
Sure.
Versus a go-ahead run 90 feet away.
Well, and the analytics are showing that, and the reason why catchers are doing it today is they can steal a few more pitches, and they can get down on the knee, and they, as you said, he can steal some low pitches, so they work from the ground up with the glove as they're down on one knee, and they present it to the umpire in a better way, and they steal a few pitches that are down just below the knees.
And that one gets down the line and past Keegan. Second hit of the game. Both of them have gone down the first base line from a right-handed hitter. Devontae Brown on with 2 down.
Yeah, just a nice piece of hitting there by Devontae Brown. And, you know, the Wolfpack, again, they're within striking distance. That's why we went back and showed the ball getting to the backstop, because, boy, you'd like 1-0 more than 2. But a couple defensive plays, the reason why they find themselves behind by a couple. But Minshik, who's had a productive College World Series to this point, has a chance here with 2 outs and a runner on.
Nothing in 1 to Wojtek Minshik. So the first changeup from Rocker.
That's what it looked like. 84. So fastballs have been, 92 to 96. Lots of breaking balls. Some shaped a little bit different than others, but that's the first time he's turned it over. And that's what you like to do as a starting pitcher. Go through the lineup once or twice with maybe a couple of pitches and save something as you start to go through the lineup for the 3rd time.
Well, and I also think from a strategic standpoint, you can pitch Minshik differently with what's behind him, right? Like there's really no reason to ever give in almost once you get to 4 and 5 here, because you probably feel pretty good that you can make a pitch to one of the next few guys in the order. So you think about a changeup, breaking ball, and it would. I mean, I don't. There's not a whole lot of reason here to even mess around and throw a strike.
The only thing is different, you have a lead now. So typically when you get a lead, you're a little bit more aggressive, may pitch to some guys in some situations that maybe you wouldn't before. But Kumar Rocker doesn't think like that. He thinks that, and I love that about him, is like, I'm going to get everybody out. I can get anybody out in any situation. That's his mindset.
Sky to left. Vaz was back, has to race in. Young at short will take care of it. No runs, a hit, 1 left on. Top of the order due for Vandy, Bradfield, Young, and Keegan.
Enrique Bradfield, the superstar freshman from Vanderbilt, had a couple different ABs in their last game against Stanford. Frustrated after the punch out against Brendan Beck in the 7th as they were clinging to their last few outs. But then in the 9th, he gets a first pitch breaking ball, rifles it into right field. That was the tying RBI. They would go on to win the game on a walk-off wild pitch. This freshman right here, you love the emotion and the energy he plays with. Just so many tangibles and intangibles you love in a leadoff hitter.
0 for 2 today with a ground out and a pop-up. Garrett Payne on the mound for State, and this one ridden into center field. Butler has it. Garrett Payne had a pretty good coach to learn from at Miller School in Charlottesville. A guy by the name of Billy Wagner could throw the ball a little bit back in his playing days.
Billy Wagner from the left side with some something to it.
Oh, a little Hundy piece. Former Astro great. Son played for Liberty this year. Got knocked out in the Knoxville Regional, but acquitted themselves quite nicely, making it to the finals.
Here's Carter Young, couple of ground outs for the Vandy shortstop today.
Elliot Avon, that last half inning, had a heart-to-heart with Garrett Payne, said, I just need 1 more inning from you. If you can get me 3 outs, we win this ball game.
Love it. Love it. Keep fighting, keep competing, keep getting your kids to believe, right? We're going to win this game.
It's a season high innings pitched and pitches thrown for the big right-hander Garrett Payne.
Dalton Feeney threw a little bit right before the game. Get a feel for the bullpen mound, and he is getting loose now. Dominic Keegan walked in the first, reached on an error by the shortstop Menchik in the fourth.
I got that right at the bottom. Luke,
I wouldn't be surprised if Tim Corbin doesn't pick a pitch here to hit and run at some point. You get a guy in Keegan that has fantastic back control, get the backside hole open, and a guy who can run in Carter Young. Now on 0-2, you put that one in your back pocket. It's interesting that Garrett Payne has done a nice job of keeping these Vanderbilt hitters guessing and uncomfortable. Just hadn't seen a lot of real aggressive swings by the Commodores.
Yeah, velo's starting to drop a little bit for him, but it's okay. He's spotting the fastball, and he's still spinning that breaking ball in there. So he started off right around 88 to 90, kind of down to 85, 86 now. Expected because of where his workload this year.
You get a look right there at the horn series by the Wolfpack. You see the horn sign from Luka Tresh back there. Horns 3 that I assume has some sort of cadence with it. Looks like we're going heater here.
There he goes. No. And throw behind him. Oh, ball dropped by Sam Highfield.
Boy, Carter Young. Oh, it looks like Highfield whiffed the tag. Yeah, and then dropped the ball anyway.
Yeah, a good backdoor slide, right? Carter Young going towards the right field side of the bag.
Two and two to Keegan. And Keegan goes down. Another K for Garrett Payne, 2 down in the 5th. This week's Sunday night baseball game, the series finale between the Cubs and the Dodgers. Cubs had a combined no-no against the Dodgers last night, the first in franchise history. Craig Kimbrell said, I came out of the bullpen, I had no idea we had a no-hitter going. Our coverage begins at 6 Eastern, 3 Pacific with baseball tonight, Sunday night countdown on ESPN and the app, one tap. Of course, David Ross, Cubs manager, played here in Omaha, not once but twice, not one team but two, with both Auburn and Florida. Skied to deep right. Devontae Brown a step onto the track or two. And that'll close the Vandy 5th. Rocker coming back out with 8 strikeouts in his bag. And we'll learn about Elliott Avent's day when we return. Bottom of the 5th, Vandy with the lead on NC State. Tom Hart, Ben McDonald, Chris Burke. Please be joined by NC State head coach Elliott Avent. Coach, unprecedented situation for you and your team with COVID protocols taking guys out. Couple questions. When did you know that the losses would be this severe? And do you expect your roster to look any different should there be another game tomorrow?
Yeah, I did not find out to probably I think maybe an hour, 45 minutes before game time or something. It was bizarre. They kept delaying things. Then they took some of the players out of the dugout and delaying things up. I think it was an hour before game time, and the other guys are getting tested right now, and hopefully with negative tests they'll be back tomorrow.
Coach, let's talk about something positive. How about Garrett Payne, a guy that doesn't have many innings on the bump for you guys this year, but look, he has been really good today. I mean, he's given up 2 runs, but they were both unearned runs, but you got to be pleased with the performance you've got from Garrett Payne.
You're exactly right, Ben. To come out here in this environment and with the innings he's got this year and do what he's done, you got to be awfully proud, and he's got to be proud of himself.
Coach, thanks for your time. We appreciate it.
Thank you, guys.
Looking forward to learning more about it after the game. Listen, you're not going to fluster Elliott Avent. 5 years ago, he got bitten by a copperhead when he was out walking his puppy.
But is there a more positive guy around than him? I mean, look, the whole world has just come crashing down on them here in the last 24 hours. And yet, you hear him cutting up in the dugout. He's having a good time. He's cheering on his boys. He's encouraging his pitcher, who has hardly any innings for him this year, but yet he's got him a chance right now.
Wow, that one's going to stop on the grass and stay fair. And Carson Faulkson's got a leadoff single in the 5th.
Boy, that is how you do it right there. You want to paint a picture of what a drag bunt up the third base line looks like for a left-handed hitter. Get the barrel above the ball, catch it with the bat, and deaden it right up the third base line. A walk into first, bunt base hit for Carson Faulkson.
So he's aboard for Sam Highfill. As devastating as this seems to NC State, and it may be devastating to their national championship hopes, Elliott Avent has been through so much over the last year. People close to him have passed away, including Bruce Winkworth, the longtime SID at NC State, dear friend of his. 5 months later, former NC State men's soccer coach George Tarantini passes away. Then in September, Chris Combs, who was a star of Avent's first team back in 1997, lost his fight with ALS. And the toughest, his dad Jack, passed away at the end of January. So it has been a constant personal battle for Elliott Avent, facing losses at every turn of the calendar. And I don't mean to suggest that this tournament, this College World Series, wouldn't be momentous for him in the program, but in the grand scheme of things, it helps explain how he can stay so positive.
Yeah, no, there's a perspective on what's at hand relative to what he's dealt with. And this is really one of those opportunities as a head coach where you get to walk the walk, right? You tell your kids all the time, control what you can control, keep a positive attitude, deal with disappointment, and he certainly is modeling that right now.
Sam Highfill with a seeing-eye grounder, and the pitcher getting the start is 2 hits today. Chris, it's almost like someone smiling down from above.
Yeah. This was certainly an emotional trip when you think about Father's Day coming in the middle of the College World Series. It was the first one without his father, Elliott Avent, a very sentimental man. He keeps a keychain with the emblem of the 2013 College World Series and a Bible verse, "I'll always be with you," that he took from his father's nightstand. He keeps it in his pocket as a reminder that Dad is always with him.
NC State has an opportunity against Kumar Rocker. Back-to-back hits, 2 base runners for the first time in this game. A reminder, with everything else that has gone wrong for the Pack today, they are just 1 win away from the College World Series finals. It's Vanderbilt who is playing in an elimination game. What do you think that meeting was like on the state side?
Well, I think there's a lot of smiles going on, dude. Sam Heifels 2 for 2 against Kumar Rocker. I think they're having some fun. And again, Elliott Avent, the message has been nothing but positive, right? He told his starting pitcher, Garrett Payne, get me through this inning. We're going to win the ball game. Payne gets him through the inning. And what has the offense done? Base hit, base hit.
Here's Eddie Eisert with 2 on and nobody out. Let's go swing, huh? Eisert, a freshman from Fairfax Station, Virginia, out of Bishop O'Connell High School.
Not bunting? You surprised there?
Well, a little bit, but you talked about the back end lineup, and you got to realize who's behind you, right? And so I think if you're going to win this game, you got to hit your way.
Yeah, I think with Giles on deck, the right-handed hitting Giles on deck, they're certainly concerned about the breaking ball and Kumar being able to punch him out, right? So take your swings with Eisert, and you just never know.
Your pitcher's got 2 hits today, right? 1 and 2 now.
That's right. You just never know. If you're holding the bat, you're dangerous.
That's right. You got a chance.
That's it.
Eisert 0 for 6 this season. Struck out on a Kumar Rocker curveball last time up. Fouls this one off.
No, the Wolfpack got Kumar Rocker working. I mean, he's working.
Rocker struck out 8 first time through the order. Blocked by Rodriguez.
It's a great take right there.
Well, that is the key, and that's what Arizona was able to do to Kumar Rocker, is lay off the breaking ball down. And they were able to do that. And Kumar Rocker against Arizona, 5 2/3, 5 hits. He gave up 5 runs. Now, only 3 were earned, but still, they did a really good job of laying off that pitch right there in 2-strike count. So when it starts in the zone, it's a breaking ball. By the time it gets to home plate, it's bouncing.
3-2 to Eddie Eisert. Pulls it to first. Advances both runners. Better than a bump, Berkey. You made Rocker work a little bit.
Yeah, you made the pitch count climb. I'll tell you what, though, that was ball 4.
Yes, it was.
If you're a Wolfpack fan, you'd love to see the take right there. But still a fantastic at bat by Eddie Eisert.
Third baseman D'Angelo Giles at the plate. Giles lifts it deep left field. Vaz has plenty of space. Looking to tag will be Foxy. And the throw never comes home. NC State is on the board. It's a 2-1 game.
Well, there you go. Situational hitting when you don't need a base hit to score a run. D'Angelo Giles came in with just 10 at-bats on the year, but yet got a breaking ball up in the zone that he could handle. Hit it plenty deep enough to push across the first run for NC State. So the bottom part of the lineup that we all had questions about because not much experience.
Yeah,
very good here in this inning.
Top of the order now at Austin Murr. Rocker dials up 92, 0-1. Murr's high school experience would be a great example for some of the guys getting a chance to play in this one. He played a little bit of football, not much, but came in as an injury replacement in a rivalry game. Ended up with 2 interceptions. And now the bottom half of the lineup, replacements in this one. Ripped foul. How hard is it to see location on that breaking ball from Rocker, ignore the low one and get after the one up?
Well, I mean, it's been proven year after year. Very difficult. That's why Kumar keeps leading the country in punch-outs. But he will make some mistakes throughout the course of the ball game, and Murr just had one right there. Unfortunately for the Wolfpack, he wasn't able to capitalize. And knowing Kumar's history, he's going to make an adjustment. I'd be surprised if he doesn't get that next one down in the dirt.
Well, for whatever reason, the breaking ball to me in this inning has not had the depth to it that we saw the first couple innings when he struck out 8 of the first 9 that he faced.
But what an opportunity here for NC State. You got one of your best hitters up with a runner in scoring position, a chance to tie the ball game up. Pretty remarkable stuff considering.
Taps it to the left side. Young's got to hurry, has no play. Third hit of the inning for NC State against Kamar Rocker, the nation's leader in starts, wins, tied for second in strikeouts.
Vandy playing shortstop Young up the middle, and what do we tell young hitters all the time? Move the baseball. Good things can happen, right? Austin Murr there with just a 2-strike kind of emergency hack to fight off that fastball, finds a hole, and now Johnny Butler gets his chance.
Johnny B 0 for 2 with a strikeout and a flyout. We told you NC State has already slayed some giants on their way to this game. Kevin Kopp's a top pitcher in the nation for Arkansas. They handed him his first loss in the Super Regionals. Brennan Beck, the Pac-12 Pitcher of the Year for Stanford. Got a win against Jack Leiter, the nation's strikeout leader at Vandy. First time these teams met. And now taking aim at a top 5 pick in July's draft, Kamar Rocker.
Oh, boy. How good is C.J. Rodriguez?
That's unbelievable.
I mean, what's he throwing out? Like 48% of runners this year, and the ability to block the ball. And these are the tough ones. Watch how far out in front of home plate this one is. I mean, he just got his hands spread out. He's just trying to knock it down. Yeah.
Former middle infielder in high school. Said he watches film of JT Realmuto and Tyler Flowers, especially when it comes to framing, but just the footwork that it took to be a middle infielder and quick hands, he feels really translates to the position.
No question. Quick hands, quick feet, the agility to move laterally, obviously short arm stroke, and boy, can he really receive the baseball as well.
Two on for Butler. Swing and a miss on the breaking ball. Strikeout number 9 for Rocker. NC State gets one across against the Vandy ace, who labors off the field here through 5.
Kumar Rocker didn't throw a whole lot of good breaking balls, but this is one of his better ones. It's in the zone, and it's gone.
Well, the Omaha Dogs, Mississippi State, with well wishes from their fan base at the team hotel. They have headed out, and they will make their way over about a city block away to TD Ameritrade. It's become their home. Omaha has been the home for the Texas Longhorns, and they've staved off elimination a couple of times to force a game tonight, 7 o'clock Eastern on ESPN. The winners of the bracket finals will meet in the College World Series finals starting Monday night, 7 Eastern on ESPN2. A 6-2 win for Texas over Virginia yesterday. Javier Vaz shows bunt, pulls it back, and takes the ball 1-0. You know, you say this in football all the time, the longer the underdog sticks around in the game, the more confidence grows on that side of the field, more opportunities they have for a break to go their way. And while NC State is 2-0, they only have 13 players available total in this one, decided underdogs given their health and safety regulations.
And who's on the mound, right?
Yeah.
I mean, you get a freshman who's coming into this game with a 7+ ERA and had not started a game all year, going against a top 5 pick in the upcoming draft, and yet here they are in a 1-run ball game in the 6th.
But you get the feeling Payne's not going to be out there much longer. I mean, look, he's over 20 pitches more than his season high this year, and the stuff for me is just not quite the same.
Temperature in the mid-80s today, cloud cover, so it's not as hot as it could be. But he certainly looked like he was running a little bit low on petrol coming out last half inning. 5-pitch walk puts Javier Vaz on. Payne has hit a couple batters. He has walked 3. Another has reached on an error. But he's held Vandy to just 2 hits. Checking in with the bullpen. C.J. Rodriguez wondering if he will face Payne or the next man up. If NC State can pull this thing off, Garrett Payne has earned folk hero status with his performance in this one.
Oh, no doubt. I mean, you come to the park today not even thinking you got a chance to get in the ball game to all of a sudden start in a College World Series game. And the most you'd worked was a little over 3 innings all year long and thrown 65 pitches, and yet you turn around against a Vanderbilt offense and you're in the ball game. And he's allowed 2 runs, but don't forget, they're both unearned runs.
Yeah. No, I mean, just went toe-to-toe with Kumar Rocker. And the innings before, 8 2/3 before he showed up here this afternoon. 12 hits, 7 earnings today. 5 innings, 2 hits, no earned runs, and he has given the Wolfpack a real chance to win this ball game.
Payne will give way to Dalton Feeney. And the NC State faithful will show their appreciation for the spot starter Garrett Payne, with an opportunity to send NC State to the College World Series Finals in an unexpected outing on the mound.
Well, how about you, Garrett Payne? Young man, 6'7", true freshman. He missed some bats today. Weak contact, balls off the end of the bat. He changed speeds really well with his changeup and his breaking ball. Fielded his position well, and he wanted to with 2 strikes. We saw him start to elevate that fastball, especially early in the game, with enough heat on it to get it by Vanderbilt. And he has positioned NC State with a chance in a 2-1 ball game. He works a season high 5+ innings pitched. A little tap on the shoulder and said, appreciate that, coach.
Can't outfox a fox. That's what Ella Davan's thinking. He hands off to Dalton Feeney from Bismarck. And there have been a whole lot of baseball stars come out of North Dakota. Only 3 in MLB history have played in more than 10 years, led by now local legend Darren Erstad. 17th appearance this season for Feeney. Last time out, 2 earned and a hit against Florida State. Runner goes, the throw knocked down by Falskin. And a stolen base for Javier Baz.
Well, that's what Javier Baz can do to you. We've seen him time and time again get on base. Good at bat. Doesn't swing at many bad pitches at all. He can certainly take an extra 90 feet. He gets an outstanding look. Look at that. About 7 steps before the ball even got to home plate, and no chance for Luca Trest, the catcher from NC State.
Vaz now 3 for 3 here at the College World Series in stolen bases, adding a new dimension to this Vanderbilt offense that they maybe weren't getting out of their corner outfielders.
Towards center, Butler on his horse reaches up and makes the grab. Vaz to third.
Well, that ball was smoked, and this is now the second big-time play we've seen from the Wolfpack outfield. Of course, Devontae Brown earlier in the game with the SportsCenter top 10 play, and Johnny Butler might not end up on the highlight reels, but that is a big-time catch from center field. Long strides over there, a perfect angle, and then the length to finish it off, saving extra bases for NC State.
That's how you do it. I love the fact he actually ran to that ball. He didn't run with his hand out to slow him down. He ran in at the last second, extended the arm, and caught the ball.
Late glove.
I like that. Only way you get to that one.
Vandy up 2-1. The runner at third and 1 out. This is Parker Nolan. Infield in. Feeney has not appeared in the postseason before today. In fact, that includes the ACC tournament. Last outing came in the regular season finale against Florida State. .93 at the knees.
Pretty good arm for somebody who hadn't appeared in the postseason. So 94 before that, now 93.
Hey, I mean, what an opportunity, right? Everybody wants to play. They want to be on the mound. Let's go.
This is what you dream for, right? No matter how you get your opportunity to do it, it's about, we always talk about being ready, because you never know when your time is going to come. And a lot of these guys is going to pitch today for North Carolina State had no idea that they'd even pitch in the College World Series, especially today.
The 0-2 lined into center field. That will bring home Vaz, and Vanderbilt has opened up a 3-1 lead.
Well, the offense has not maybe been clicking on all cylinders, but man, has Parker Nolan looked good in this ballgame. Now his second backside base hit, and a mistake out over the plate on an 0-2 pitch, and just a fantastic job of letting that ball travel, control the angle of the barrel so you don't miss it. Good job of keeping that chest down, and a rocket past the drawn-in infield gets the Doors back on the board.
Second hit for Nolan. DH Spencer Jones.
Outside.
Jones 6'7", 225. Rocker trying to stay loose. '31st round pick of the Angels in 2019, coming out of La Costa Canyon High School.
Perfect. I've seen it. Good job. Not many 6'7" dudes you see swinging the stick.
No.
Runner was going, and it's fouled off. How would you attack a 6'7" hitter?
Well, typically they big and long arms. They like, you want to keep them tied up, and that's how we always, not always, but a lot of times the bigger guys with the longer swings, you want to try to, really speed them up and get them out on the inside part. But I don't know if you can stay there all the time, because they can cheat to it and get to it. But that was always my approach: is inside, way in, and then soft stuff away.
Then you challenge him to a game of one-on-one afterwards.
Maybe.
Designated inbounder. Pulled through the hole on the right side. Nolan will head to second. He'll stop there, and Vanderbilt piecing some things together here in the sixth. Leadoff walk has come around to score. 2 on with 1 down.
Yeah, you think about some of the best tall hitters, maybe of recent memory. I go back a little bit here, but remember Richie Sexton, Derek Lee, guys between 6'6", 6'7", and normally to be that big, you got to widen out. Think about Chris Brown in today's game. Spread out, bring yourself lower to the strike zone, and then you got to really be short with the path, because those levers are long, and that sometimes doesn't equate when guys are throwing in the mid-90s.
You know who impressed me was the freshman from Arizona. I think it was Susak, the catcher. Big, tall guy, but I loved it. It was a shorter stroke.
Jason Gonzalez fouls it off. 0-1.
There's not a big place in the game for long swings in today's game, because of the increase in velocity of fastballs and pitching up in the zone and all those things. Seems like the hitters that we're seeing have a lot of success, college and at professional levels, are the ones that have the shorter, tighter swings.
0-2 to Gonzalez. His dad was a 44th round pick of the Braves in 1988. Played with the Macon Braves in 1991, where his teammate was a 19-year-old Chipper Jones. A couple years before that in Sumter, with Ed Yost managing, Ron Gant, Ryan Klesko, and Eddie Perez. Saw some talent in that Braves organization. Strike 3 called. 2 down.
Pretty good fastball right here, boys. 95 miles an hour, the best one velocity-wise, and boy, perfectly placed. So Dalton Feeney to Luca Tress. Tress down on one knee and wants that ball right on the corner. Watch where this ball is. I mean, you can't throw one any better than that.
First pitch to short. To second because of Bradfield's speed, and everybody's safe.
So when you are on first with 2 outs and they are not holding you on, your goal is to beat the force. And especially, as you said, Tommy, with the speed of Bradfield, you know the shortstop does not want it. So look how far the primary is. And then the jump, right? Spencer Jones can really run for a big man, gets in there, and the mindset to beat the force. And you know Minshik wants to go to the short way, but maybe wasn't anticipating the speed of Spencer Jones, and now you got a bases loaded situation because of the aggression by Jones.
Carter Young out of Sella, Washington, now at the plate. He is 0 for 2 and 1 for 12 in the College World Series.
Minshik, I just don't think anticipated how quickly he needed to get rid of that ball. You talk about a missed opportunity to get off the field.
Outside.
But look, that's part of the storyline here today, right? There was an error earlier that led to an unearned run, and now that won't go down as an error, but certainly a missed opportunity to really set up and catch and throw that ball with a little more urgency. And now Vandy with a chance for a big inning.
2-2.
Yeah, I just think Minshik, again, not many reps at shortstop this year, so he doesn't have the internal clock and realizing such a big lead, one home run on at first base. He didn't realize the runner was going to get to the bag as fast, so I think he would have been a little bit quicker trying to do it.
Big pitch from Dalton Feeney with the bases loaded. Came out of his hat, and the ball came out of Tresh's glove.
Yeah, Feeney, that 2-seam fastball. There's the action running down and away, and just barely in the heel and can't quite hang on to it.
The 2-2 into the seats.
And it has been a struggle here in Omaha for Carter Young. Came into the game 1 for 10 here in Omaha, 0 for 2 today, so 1 for 12. But the one was a large one. And you're talking about a sophomore shortstop with 16 big flies on the year. Very, very dangerous hitter.
Already has a grand slam this season.
One more, baby, one more.
What's up with Feeney's hat? Why can't we keep the hat on the head?
Oh, is that 3 in a row?
Yeah.
Hat's too big.
That would get annoying, wouldn't it? Like after a while, like give me a lid that actually stays on.
That would bother that. Like it's coming off. It's coming off early. Like it's got no shot. Like that might not even be his hat.
2-2 to Young. Swing and a miss. Feeney keeps the cap on, and he sits Young down. Vanderbilt leaves the bases loaded in the 6th.
So all fastballs, and then Dalton Feeney said, you know what? If I can't get you with the fastball, how about I take a little off? And he's got that one, folks, dancing like a minnow in shallow water.
Kumar Rocker has been on fire, but the strikeout kind of disappeared second time through the batting order after Kang 8 of the first 9. Didn't strike any of the next 10 until getting Johnny Butler swinging to end the 5th. Luca Tresh fouls this one off.
Yeah, it's interesting, isn't it, that he came out with the breaking ball that looked as good as we saw it when he threw the no-hitter against Duke a couple years ago in the Super Regional, when he punched out 19, and then all of a sudden we just didn't see that many swings and misses.
The breaking ball changed for me last inning. But the one he threw to finish off Johnny Butler was the good one, right? But there was a few in there that just wasn't the same kind of shape and didn't have the same kind of action to it.
Ooh, that one just low. 2-1. 2 balls and a strike to Tresh. cousin of former New York Yankee Tom Tresh. Rookie of the Year, 3-time All-Star. Started at shortstop opening day as a rookie with Tony Kubek performing military service. The next rookie to start at shortstop for the Yankees on opening day was a guy by the name of Derek Jeter.
Turned out all right.
Yeah, he was pretty good. Jeter.
And it goes down swinging.
There's the good one. So it's in the zone. But see that break again? A more almost vertical, almost straight down kind of break.
Inside.
Double-digit strikeouts for Kumar Rocker as he welcomes Devontae Brown with a fastball. Elimination games, he is flat dominant. Of course, that bolstered by the performance against Duke in the Super Regionals his freshman year with 19 strikeouts in a no-hitter against the Blue Devils.
Yeah, and what's impressive about Kumar Rocker, he's a power pitcher, right? But he doesn't walk guys. You know, if you look at what he does, he fills the zone up, and he doesn't beat himself. Even though he gave up some runs against Arizona, he still struck out 7, didn't walk a batter. Doesn't have a walk today, 10 punch-outs.
7th time this year he's reached double-digit strikeouts. Curveball hit well to left field, but on a line to Vaz. 2 down. The knockout round at the Euros begins tomorrow. Gareth Bale and Wales take on Denmark on ESPN. Our coverage starts at 11:30 a.m. Eastern with a noon kickoff. Then it's Italy and Austria on ABC at 3 Eastern. Our pregame coverage starts at 2:30 Eastern, 11:30 game Pacific. Both games, like everything else, available streaming live on the ESPN app, one tap. You can watch anywhere. What you got, Ben?
I'll be honest, man. I mean, I never played any soccer growing up, and it looks like a pretty cool sport.
You would have,
but it's not something I'm gonna sit down and watch.
You would have made a heck of a goalie.
Yeah, no, that would be my thing. I got a little length, and so I could probably cover the goal up pretty good. But as far as running up and down that field like they do, nah.
Well, Wojtek Menchik was watching the other day. His squad from the Czech Republic pulled out a tie after trailing 1-0. You say that nil in soccer. Up cam, up and in. 1-2. Wojtek was telling me, you know, baseball isn't as popular in the Czech Republic as hockey or soccer are. He said even our best stadiums maybe hold 100, 200 people in baseball. This is a little bit more than that.
Yeah, such a neat story, though. The first ever player from the Czech Republic to play in the College World Series. What an incredible story he has. And has played very, very well, both defensively when he was at third base, and again has come up with some big hits for this Wolfpack club. Definitely a switch though today to get over there and play shortstop in place of Jose Torres, one of the best in the game.
From Brno in the Czech Republic, which has given us Ernst Mach. He was the physicist and philosopher that we talk about. Mach speed, and Gregor Mendel studying genetics. That's why Ben's flat top has been passed down through generations.
Well, Kumar up to 104 now.
Yeah.
How many more has he got in him?
I'd say this is it.
I would too.
2-run lead. McIlvain's down there warming up. This feels like it's it.
Yeah, he's starting to smell the finish line, and the finish line looked like for him it's going to be 6 complete.
The 2-2 to Menchik. Upstairs, full count. Leiter was sensational in his start, but took a loss.
What you got here, Berkey? 3-2 slider?
Breaking ball.
You just struck out.
Oh, that's it. That's it. Foul it off, right? You're
emergency hack it.
Yeah, defending the breaking ball and waste the heater.
I didn't say him. I said you.
Yeah. Well, hypothetically, I'm living through him right now. I liked his approach.
Go for it.
2-out walk to Menchie. First walk from Rocker. Carson Falskin coming up. Scott Brown, pitching coach for Vandy, having a long talk with Tim Corbin. Fantastic feature in The Athletic by Joe Rexroth today about Scott Brown. Best friends of Tim Corbin, who's so tight with his staff, and things that Brown and his family have been through with the loss of a young child and the perspective that he has on the game. And it was Brown who came back from a meeting on the mound the last game who told Tim Corbin, I don't like the look in their eyes.
Ball.
Rodriguez has no play. And then Corbin, after that half inning, called everybody together and kind of read him the riot act. And he said, I don't usually get in the players' in their way on game day. The dugout is theirs. It's like a parent teaching driving. You don't want to reach over and grab the steering wheel. But I wasn't going to let them go down with a passive approach.
No, I love that story, and I agree. Don't grab the steering wheel, but every now and then you got to put the blinker on for them, you know. And you got to, change direction sometimes and keep them focused because, again, you're dealing with 18 to 21, 22-year-old kids.
One-two pitch. And that'll take care of Falskin. 11 strikeouts for Kumar Rocker. Mom's happy. Dad's just at the game watching. It's a 3-1 Vandy lead through 6.
Well, one of the best big game pitchers we've seen in recent years in college baseball. Kumar Rocker had it going, especially early. The difference maker, that breaking ball, he punches out 8 of the first 9 that he faced. 2 different shapes to it. The fastball was up to 96. Boy, he hit some spots on the outside part of the plate. You see Rodriguez out there and Kumar Rocker dialing it up around the outside part of the plate. So 6 innings pitched, 5 hits, only 1 run he gave up. Walked 1 and 11 punch outs. And you know mama's happy. She's going to get to her feet for her baby boy. Dad's just kind of chilling.
Dominic Keegan sends a shot down the line, fair. Just past the reach of Giles. Keegan into second, standing up with a leadoff double. I think it bears discussion. It could be the last time we see Kumar Rocker pitching for Vanderbilt.
Yeah, I mean, you never know what the next 5 days or so holds. But if that was the last time we see Kumar Rocker on a college baseball field, it has been a pleasure to watch him. It's such a neat thing when we see these kids turn down professional baseball for the opportunity of the college experience, which you only get one crack at. And when you see a young man choose that path and excel at such a level that Kumar has done over the last 3 years, it's really a special thing, and he certainly is one of the greats.
Yeah, he's the kind of talent that we don't typically see show up on college campus. No, Tim Corbin's found a way to get a few of them to show up over the years. I think 16 first-rounders Corbin's had. Going to be 18 after the draft goes off this year with Jack Leiter. But certainly he's been a joy to watch, and a guy that's kind of kept his nose down. He's worked really hard. And he's loved. I mean, we always ask him about his college experience. He said, man, I'm so glad that I chose to go to college and play college baseball.
111 pitches for Rocker today, his 3rd most in a game this season. Troy Leneve at the plate, 0 for 2.
And his legacy will be what we talked about earlier, his performances in elimination games and the way he continues to answer the bell and rise up when his team needs him the most. And he certainly did that here today.
Strike 3 called on Leneve. Chris.
It's worth noting also how Rocker changed the mentality of this dugout. Tim Corbin tells a story about earlier in the year. They had lost. Everyone was back in the locker room, their heads down. Rocker came in. He's like, what are we doing? Like, lift your heads up. It's like they needed assurance from him that it was okay to move on. And that was a role that Rocker wasn't very comfortable with when they were here in Omaha, and now has kind of taken that and it's fed off to the rest of his teammates.
Well, he's done it at the biggest level. And now there's another level for him. College World Series most outstanding player. What I love about the College World Series, sometimes to appreciate it from a macro standpoint, you have to look at it with a rearview mirror and go back and see guys who become highly successful major league players and find them pitching in competitive atmospheres with games on the line, with trophies and banners in high leverage situations. And the fact that a guy like Kumar Rocker played here in Omaha, and kids have come out to see him, and parents get a chance to see him, and then to watch him throughout his career.
Yeah, well, it makes the next stage a much more comfortable transition, right? When you've already performed at such a high level on such a big stage, facing the Yankees in a playoff series or pitching for an organization like that in a big moment, you've taken the proper steps to arrive there, and you expect to perform when you get that chance.
And don't think it doesn't matter to GMs that's fixing to make some drafts in about 2 weeks. You know, and they would much rather take the guy that they know has played on the biggest amateur level that you can play on. And Kumar Rocker has pitched in front of the big crowds. In other words, it's not going to be a surprise for him.
No. And I love what the story Chris told, because there is a progression where you do it, right, and then you work your tail off, and then at some point you got to say something, right? Now, not every leader likes to be the rah-rah pre-game, post-game speech kind of dude, but every once in a while, the best leaders will speak up when they feel like the timing's right. And so the progression of Kumar as he's gone through his time in Tim Corbin's program, to say that he's not just worried about his own business, but he's worried about the culture in the locker room and how his teammates are responding, that's when you got a special leader.
Yeah.
Got a bunch of draft prospects on College World Series rosters. 4 teams remain. Vandy needs a win today to force another game tomorrow with NC State. Jack Leiter projected by Kylie McDaniel to go 3rd overall.
Number 74 there, Mike Vassell, gave us a treat last night, didn't he?
Sure.
He was having some fun.
Yeah.
That was some good stuff. When my man started getting his sword out, that was some good stuff.
No doubt.
I wonder how Trevor Bauer felt. Certainly Bauer had a comment on it somewhere.
Oh, yeah, he saw it somewhere, I would imagine. The pitching ninja tweeted it out, so you know Trevor saw it.
Just foul. Well, we didn't have a whole lot of time to get on the Twitter timeline after our game last night, and quick turnaround this morning. So
because we were on,
check out
we were on today.
Yeah,
I checked out the ninja. He tweeted it out. Vassell got his love.
Outside.
Got a former LSU pitcher making MLB history today. Ground ball to second. They go to get the force at second, and on to first. Safe at first.
Well, brand new middle infield here for the Wolfpack in this one. Minshik to Falskin, and boy, they almost turned a special one right there. It was awfully close at first base. Minshik goes to his backhand, catch and fire, and Falskin does a really nice job of hanging in there and ripping it, but Rodriguez just ahead of the throw as Highfill trying to do his best to finish that one off, but I think Rodriguez did just beat that one.
Do you have 30 seconds, or are you good?
Aaron Nola struck out 10 consecutive batters against the Mets this afternoon, tying Tom Seaver for the most consecutive Ks in MLB history. That record stood since 1970 when Seaver struck out 10 Padres.
10 in a row
against the Mets. That's big time.
Started with former Oregon State Beaver Michael Conforto and ended with former Florida Gator Pete Alonso.
Well, Aaron Nola can do it.
Nola, the fourth pitcher of the last 5 seasons with 11 K through 4. Among those he's joined former NC State pitcher Carlos Rodon.
And the foot is down. The ball was not there yet. This shouldn't take very long.
Big one tonight with Texas and Mississippi State. Who's got the advantage this evening?
This Texas team is playing good right now.
They are.
Like they're dangerous right now. But it almost feels like, for me, it's Mississippi State's time. You know what I'm saying? Like 3 years in a row now, so many times in the College World Series.
We've got an illegal slide.
And that was totally by accident, because when Vaz slid late right there, it looked like his foot hit the bag and it accidentally kicked.
Yeah, the foot kicks out late, and that could definitely be called interference or illegal slide, whether it was intentional or not.
Yeah. So he slid really late, and then when his bottom hit the bag, it shot him out towards right field. And that's normally a no-no.
Yeah, forced play slide rule. The fielder is protected on either side of the base. So this will be an inning-ending double play for Vanderbilt.
We think.
If they apply the rule, yes.
If it's what we've seen this year, it will be.
Also, they're not calling it an illegal slide.
Why was that not an illegal slide?
I'm lost on that one. Because we've seen stuff this year less than that was called automatic.
The runner slashes or kicks the fielder with either leg. They said it was clean at second.
Okay.
They also reviewed the play at first and ruled Rodriguez safe. So 2 down with Keegan at third.
Well, this is the guy you want up if you're Vanderbilt. Parker Nolan has hit some rockets in this ball game. A rocket to Johnny Butler in his first at bat, and then 2 left center field missiles in his previous 2 appearances. An RBI base hit last time up, and so another opportunity to tack on one for the Doors right here.
Into center field, Butler pushed all the way back on a dead sprint to the track, got there. Couple stranded for Vanderbilt in the 7th. Time to stretch, and the Pack looking for some offense. It'll be Highfill, who's 2 for 2 on the day. Isert, and then Giles. Welcome back to the NCAA College World Series, presented by Capital One. From the cornfields of Nebraska to downtown Omaha, and Vanderbilt with a 3-1 lead over NC State. State with just 13 available players today. Elliot Avent said they expect to get a couple more available tomorrow. Kamar Rocker's day is done. 11 strikeouts, 1 walk over 6 innings. First ever Commodore pitcher with multiple double-digit strikeout games in the College World Series. Here's Sam Highfill. Normally a starting pitcher, today a starting first baseman. He has borrowed some equipment, and it has paid off and caught the attention of his teammates that are not playing in this game today. Highfield 2 for 2 against Kamar Rocker, now facing Chris McElvain.
How many times do you think Sam Highfield's going to tell that story in his life?
A lot. A guy that was potentially a top 5 pick, probably be a top 5 pick, and I went 2 for 2. And how about a little 3 for 3 there?
My goodness.
Just for fun, I'm going to go 3 for 3.
Good for you. And that'll bring Eddie Iser to the play. Jose Torres tweeting, love that dude, love the helmet he's using too. Jose Torres is starting shortstop for North Carolina State, not available today. He had the hit of the year to win the Super Regional at Arkansas. Highfield 3 for 3, the rest of the team 3 for 20.
Elliot Avent's got a decision on his hands. No matter what his roster looks like, Sam Highfield making a bid to get in that lineup.
Here's Eddie Iser at the plate. Hey, speaking of telling stories and not telling stories, Berkey was talking with the NC State coaching staff, and they got on the subject of former NC State pitcher Joey Devine, who's now in the agent business. And they start talking about the home run that Joey gave up in extra innings pitching for the Braves in the NLCS. And Elliot Avent literally says out loud, yeah, who hit that home run off of him? And Berkey goes, well, that was me.
Joey, I didn't bring it up, okay? Elliot brought it up. But, yeah, Joey Devine, a great North Carolina closer from back in the day.
North Carolina State,
excuse me.
Braves rushed him up to the big leagues pretty fast, and he's probably watching today because a lot of probable guys.
Home run? You got it? Wind blowing out?
It's a dome, Ben.
Air conditioning blowing out. Used to do that in the Metrodome.
Yeah, sure did. Astros would never. Tap to the left side. Here's Young, and he kicks it. Tries to recover. Has no play. NC State with a pair of board here in the 7th.
Well, starting to get a little bit interesting. And we talked about this early. If Vanderbilt lets NC State hang around, NC State starts to get a little more confident, start to think that they can. And all of a sudden, we got a 3-1 ball game here in the 7th, first and second, and nobody out.
Well, you're thinking maybe a double play ball, right? And next thing you know, you end up with nothing. Young takes the aggressive approach and charges it. Definitely could have waited back and gotten the lead runner, but he decides to run through it. That decision does not pay off, and boy, it is getting interesting. Now I think you got a bunt, right? With Murr and Butler due up next, the tying run at first base.
Yeah, you couldn't have a more perfect scenario if you're NC State. Get the bunt down, and the guys that you know you had to count on, the guys that got moved around, but they're still your everyday players at the front of this lineup, they'll have an opportunity to tie this game.
First inning work by Chris McElvain. Giles has squared early.
No.
McElvain making his 22nd appearance, 5-1 with a 3.77. Hasn't allowed a run in this College World Series appearances against Arizona and Stanford. Snap throw, got him.
Oh, wow.
C.J. Rodriguez gets Highfield off the bag at second.
Wow. And this, we talked about earlier in the ball game, the base running. We talked about it more from a, you don't want to take a chance and get your star right-hander hurt. But right here, C.J. Rodriguez, one of the best defensive catchers in college baseball, takes an opportunity as Giles bunts through it. A BB to second base to get Highfield by a few feet. What a catch and throw from C.J. Rodriguez.
Boy, that is a killer, too.
And you could feel the energy just get sucked out of the NC State side of the building.
That's what you teach your catchers, though. When you know the other team's bunting and they miss the bunt on an attempted bunt, the base runner's trying to get that extra step or two because he's wanting to get it started to get to the next bag. And you're taught to throw behind, and I'm telling you what, C.J. Rodriguez has done it all year long.
1-2 to Giles with now only one on. Vandy trying to win this game and force an if necessary game tomorrow. We would need Texas to knock off Mississippi State later tonight. Should that happen, we'll have 2 games tomorrow. 1-2 to Giles. Up and in. Rodriguez to first this time. Feeling it?
You'd be wise not to get too far off. And it's quick, too. Not only is it accurate and strong, but it is quick. Watch how quick he is behind the plate. Now, he's up a little bit, expecting the fastball up because that's where he wanted. So he's already in a position. But watch him pivot, square the shoulders, and just a dart.
Well, we talked about him being a middle infielder. It's moves like that where you can really see the agility and the hand speed to make that catch and transfer so quickly. Awfully impressive athlete back there behind the dish.
Sophomore, that one gets under the glove. He did say, talking about the learning curve at catching after being a middle infielder, he said, I improved and I kept improving, and then all of a sudden the improvement became addictive, and I was so dedicated to becoming a great catcher that with every little stride forward I wanted it more and more.
Well, that's when you got something special, right? When the climb is what gets you up in the morning.
Austin Murr is 1 for 3 in this game.
Outside.
2-0.
Hugh Fisher down there in the bullpen. It would not surprise me at all if Murr was able to reach and Butler comes up in a 2-out, 2-on scenario if we don't see Mr. Fisher to face Johnny Butler.
Murr struck out in the first, grounded out in the third, and came up with a 5th inning single. 3-0 from McIlvain coming.
Yeah.
Challenge here with first base open.
You got to know where to miss. So it's on the corner. But if you miss, you know you got to miss off and not over.
Good pitch right there.
Yeah, big ballpark. Not playing small today like we've seen it play. Fastball up and away. Not many guys can leave opposite field. Typically, that's just a routine can of corn left field.
Murr has the Pack's lone hit with the runner in scoring position today. Payoff from McIlvain.
Austin Murr has a serious emergency hack. Like you want to talk to young kids about what it looks like to choke and poke with 2 strikes. We saw it last time as he just kind of dunked a ground ball between Gonzalez and Young, and right there it looked like he took it right out of the mitt of Rodriguez.
Ball 4.
There's ball 4, and Murr reaches for that pickup at second, looming large. Would be bases loaded with 1 out if the inning were to unfold as if it didn't happen. And now Johnny Butler coming up.
Here comes Hugh Fisher.
Here's Tim Corbin off the top step. Why is Fisher the right move here?
I just think you got to. You get a feeling this could be the ball game, right? You got to make Johnny Butler as uncomfortable as he possibly can. McElvain, the command maybe just not as good as it can be, and so you just don't take any chances right here. You bring in the nasty lefty to face the Wolfpack's best hitter.
The game on the line with State down 2 and the tying run at first in the 7th. Hugh Fisher coming in, and Chris Hart giving his guys a full rundown of what they're about to see. It'll start with Johnny Butler with 2 on and 2 out.
Well, Hugh Fisher making his 16th appearance. 2.45 ERA. Circle that one down at the bottom, though. He can strike you out. 13 punch-outs, but it can get erratic from time to time. 11 walks and only 11 innings pitched.
But you talk about why Hugh Fisher was the right guy to bring in, Tom. You asked me that before we went to break. Lefty's just hitting 133 against Hugh Fisher. So even though Johnny Butler's hitting 266 off left-handers, I think this is the guy they trust the most. That kind of low 3/4 release makes it very tough for left-handers. But, boy, if you're a Wolfpack fan, this is the guy you want up.
14 home runs in the season for Butler. He's driven in a team-high 53. Remember, this is an NC State team with only 13 available players in this game, 9 position players, 4 pitchers. They hope to have more available tomorrow coming out of COVID protocol. That remains to be seen. Either way, not an elimination game for NC State. There will be a tomorrow for the Pack. Johnny Butler looks at the first pitch that slides away, and C.J. Rodriguez has to go talk to him after the first pitch.
We got a little cross up here.
CJ that smooth that he caught it like that on a cross up?
He's that good.
Usually he gets wide like that on a breaking ball,
right.
But he gave him an inside target, so you wouldn't have think the inside target on a breaking ball, would you?
Butler looks at a strike.
Got wide there on a heater. So I think that was a cross-up. I think he wanted a fastball there on a 0-0 count. Fisher spun him a slider.
If you joined us late, NC State wasn't aware of their roster limitations until an hour and a half before this game was scheduled to start. All hands on deck for the Pack, those that are available, and they count 1 and 2. They got a starting pitcher who's got 3 hits in this game after starting at first base. Johnny Butler has moved around. It is an empty and mostly lonely dugout. And what a story this would be if the Pack can come from behind and pull off a victory. Here's the 1-2 to Butler. Oh. Hit him. Bases loaded now in the 7th.
You had him right where you wanted him, set up for the breaking ball, and Hugh Fisher throws the cement mixer. You can see that thing just comes right out of the side of his hand, catches Butler in that elbow guard, and just when it looked like Vandy was set up to get off the field, they give up a freebie, and boy, is it interesting right about now.
How big is the pickoff right now?
Yeah.
Three righties due up here for Vandy. And so they'll go back to the bullpen. This is an incredible opportunity for North Carolina State. As a reminder, they're 2-0. They don't have to win this game, but we don't know what tomorrow holds in terms of pitcher arms and player availability. And so they would hope that they have more players available tomorrow, but there are no guarantees from where we sit. And they came in with, a very steep hill to climb. But, Berkey, you've made the point a couple times. At the same time, very little pressure given the fact that they only have 13 guys available in this game.
Yeah, I think the pressure was on Vanderbilt in this game, and to this point, Vanderbilt is leading and in a position to win. But I would say from a NC State standpoint, you have gotten into the bullpen now. You've seen McElwain, you've seen Murphy. Now you're getting you got Murphy right here. You just saw the left-hander Hugh Fisher, and so they have had some small victories along the way. You've got some guys proving that they're okay in the moment. And so not all lost here for NC State in this one.
Yeah, and how about the pitchers for NC State? I mean, you start Garrett Payne, who has a 7.47 ERA. You back that up with Dalton Feeney, who had 11 ERA, but yet NC State is right in the ball game and just one base hit away from tying this thing.
Man. Elliot Avent had a discussion with his team before the game and gave them the chance to forfeit and jump ahead to tomorrow or play this game. They chose to play, and now they'll face Luke Murphy, making his 26th appearance, 4-1 with a 2.65 ERA.
Well, Luke Murphy's for real. I mean, it's a mid-90s fastball. You see the strikeouts, 59 punch-outs and only 37 in a third innings pitch. That's kind of what you see when you get to the back end of the bullpen is the M&M boys, Murphy and Maldonado, McIlvain.
And look, at this point, you've gotten two-thirds of them into the ball game, right? And they still have 7 outs to get. So it has been mission accomplished from that standpoint, and you're staring at an opportunity to take the lead right here.
Now, Luca Trash and his family know big hits in big moments. Told you he's the cousin of former Yankee Tom Trash. Game 1 of the 1963 World Series, Sandy Koufax was striking out 15 in that game. Tom Trash went yard against Koufax. 15 home runs on the season for Luca. Bases loaded. Eisert at third, Murr at second, Butler at first.
Ball.
And the pitch just off, 1-0.
Well, it's a limited lineup, right? So we knew it was going to probably have to be the top half to get it done. And if you're a Wolfpack fan, you've got your leading home run guy up with the bases loaded, down by 2.
Swing and a miss at 95.
You can't ask for much more than that considering the circumstances, can you?
Absolutely not. I mean, if I told you when this game started this was where we would be, I don't think anybody would have bought it.
Murphy has struck out 9 in his 4 innings pitched here in Omaha. The 1-1. Rodriguez tried to pull it back, 2-1. Trash is 0 for 3 in this game. Three and 1.
Here's your chance, right? Be on time for the fastball because you know it's coming. You could almost sit on that fastball in that location that you're looking for.
You can see Murphy being very careful to try to stay on the outside edge.
Hopped him up. Nolan puts it away. State strands 3 in the 7th. The pickoff looms large. Rocker appreciative, but this Vandy team focused. They have to win to get another game tomorrow. Game on the line. Just missed.
Game of inches, and he catches too far below the equator. And Kumar, he was kind of playing peekaboo with that AB. He didn't really want to watch.
Just one eye on it.
Oh, this game is great.
Now he puts his cool face on like he knew he had it the whole time. Meanwhile, he was hiding behind the bill of his cap.
11 strikeouts over 6 innings for Kumar Rocker. Here's Spencer Jones, 1 for 2 in this game. Singled his last time up. To short. Off the heel. Menchik doesn't recover in time. It's a third baseman playing short. How difficult is that step over?
Man, as much as he has impressed at third base, I would not expect it to be that difficult. We've seen a throw that was low, and then here, he just catches one off the heel. I'm not sure why he's charging a ball that's hit that hard. I mean, there's really no reason to play that ball off to the side and charge it when that ball is really compressed right at you. So I just think that's some of the stuff he's dealing with, the nuances of how to play a ball when you're standing about another 15, 20 feet away from the hitter.
2 errors today for Wojtek Menchik, who's normally the starting third baseman for the Pack. Jason Gonzalez at the plate. Game 2 tonight will air on ESPN with Ravi, Eduardo, KP, and Chris. That's Texas and Mississippi State. It will start 65 minutes after the conclusion of Game 1. Mississippi State and Texas. Gets the bunt down. Highfill takes care of it, and Spencer Jones advanced to second. Dogs are in the house.
Logan Tanner, the star catcher of the Hail State program. Boy, he's had some kind of year, hasn't he?
This place going to fill up tonight. Those Mississippi State folks are coming in. The Burnt Orange will be here.
Rowdy Jordan has 8 hits this College World Series. The only Mississippi State players with more are Jake Mangum and Rusty Toms. That is 8 for his career. Ty Madden, Big 12 Pitcher of the Year, will be on the mound for Texas. First time in his career he'll start on 4 days rest.
Well, and it's an elimination game for Texas, so of course it's, you know, win or go home for them.
Sure.
But for Mississippi State, if you can figure out a way to win this game tonight, and you got Will Bednar set up for Game 1, you got a real chance to win this thing.
No doubt. All Bednar did was punch out 15.
Ball foul. I'll play.
His first start here in the College World Series.
What a scene back at the team hotel. You know, of all the people who have been there this week, including Michael Phelps, I don't think there were bigger stars that were in the hotel than when Mississippi State returned from the win against Virginia.
Yeah. That was some kind of scene.
Half of Thunder and Lightning was there.
Yeah.
Talked to Rafael Palomero.
He's got to be pretty impressed with this team. Foul territory, but room. Giles a little bit more comfortable that time. 2 down.
Vanderbilt just struggling for that kind of put away blow, right? They've had opportunities to tack on a few more and get a little breathing room, but to this point they just haven't been able to pull away really from the Wolfpack.
And it's kind of what they've done offensively as of late, Vanderbilt. You know, we talked about it, averaging less than 4 runs a game their last 5 games. That's right where they are today at 3 runs. And don't forget the big arrow. You know, 2 unearned runs on the scoreboard. We could easily be in a 1-1 ball game right now.
Inside.
By the way, Tanner Allen had that big home run for State against Virginia. You see a little Chipper Jones in the game, especially on the home run?
There ain't no doubt about it. They call him Little Chipper for a reason. Where's number 5? Because he wants to be half the player. Chipper Jones was. Buddy, you've done well for yourself, kid. What a career he has had for Mississippi State.
This one will probably reach the dugout. Highfield will give up. But what about the home run trot that keyed you in on it?
Well, I was talking to him the other day in the lobby, and I said, man, I just appreciate how you smooth trotted that, right? He didn't stand at home plate and beat his chest, and nothing against dudes who do that. I just kind of admired how he looked so comfortable and not surprised by the moment. He said, man, I just kept thinking about all the big home runs I used to watch Chipper hit. I never saw him stand at home plate. He said he always smoothed it around the bases. And I said, well, bro, you made him proud last night.
Should get him a What Would Chipper Do bracelet.
Ball foul, ball foul.
Chipper Jones was captain of the all-cool team. I mean, it's just like runaway, like captain of the all-cool team. And Tanner Allen certainly gets the vote for college baseball.
He's there.
Who else is on the all-cool team?
Here we go. Now this is how Little Chipper does it. Just smooth it on out there. He could have got the flap down a little earlier. Chipper used to get that left flap down, but look, my man just smooth trotting it around the bases after a 3-run Johnson.
There it is. This is just what I do.
Tip to the cap.
This is what I do.
Yeah.
To Carter Young. Just off the plate, 2-2. fan thinks NC State's #1.
Ooh, just off the edge.
Well, Chipper must have been watching the other night. Tweeted at him.
Yeah, Chipper tweeted at him. Larry the Cable Guy tweeted at him.
Whoa.
Yeah, oh, yeah.
Oh, a Nebraska native. Nice pickup by Tresh.
Because he's not freezing yet.
It's a different stage here than what college baseball players are used to.
A lot more eyeballs. No doubt about it.
Yanked foul. Got it off the carom.
Well, we talked about it earlier in this ball game. Carter Young has struggled here in Omaha, but very, very dangerous. And you see right there, he can turn around a fastball.
Yeah, and Feeney's showing us a really good changeup. He got the Wolfpack off the field in a really good changeup. And if that was the fastball and you're that far out in front of it, does he have the confidence to fish this changeup down and away?
It's now the most pitches Dalton Feeney has thrown in an outing this season. And remember, he hadn't pitched since the regular season finale against Florida State, bettering the 48 that he threw against Virginia Tech back on April 25th. State with more action in the bullpen. Cooper King is getting loose. Only 4 pitchers for North Carolina State available today.
Well, and this is a big out right here because Dominic Keegan has looked very comfortable, and they're going to have a conversation about it because the double last time down the left field line. Very accomplished hitter here in the middle of the order.
We talked about this in game 1 of the Super Regional against Arkansas. NC State playing on the road, got behind early 7-1. Their starter got roughed up, and Ella Devent said, okay, we're just going to throw off. It's like playing a game of spades. We're just going to throw off for now. We don't mind losing this hand because we want to win the Super Regional, so we'll throw some arms that maybe otherwise we wouldn't use and save our bullets for later. I understand it's only a 2-run game, but where do you draw the line on using another arm or going deeper into the bullpen when we are still unsure what they have available tomorrow?
Well, you got Sam Highfill, right? So, you've only used 2 to this point. If you have 4 available, right, you can get through this one with only using 2 or a third, but not that much. And maybe, and this is the part we don't know, Ben, who do they possibly get back tomorrow?
And that's a big question mark, But right now you got a chance to win the game.
Yeah.
So right now you're in the ball game.
All right, slow it down.
So you're running your best dudes out there. You're just trying to get off the field right now.
Dominic Keegan led off the 7th with a double. 1 for 3 afternoon. OPS over 1,000 for Keegan, with 4 home runs in the postseason. Vanderbilt continues to struggle with runners in scoring position. 2 for 12 today. 5 for 17 over the first 3 CWS games. 2-1.
200. Yes.
It's like a platoon leader calling in reinforcements. Up the middle, roller. Menchik shovels. They get the force at second, and that will close the Vanderbilt 8th. Feeney has done his job. Heart of the order due up for the Pack, trailing by 2. Welcome back to the NCAA College World Series, presented by Capital One. From Omaha, Nebraska, NC State trying to make its first ever College World Series finals. find a win in comeback fashion today, they'll have to do it shorthanded. Positive COVID tests and COVID protocol has limited their roster today. This was the statement pregame. Several players from the team have been put into protocol and unavailable. It is a continuing developing situation. It remains to be seen who would be available tomorrow. Remember, this is a state team that hasn't lost yet this week. So a loss here just brings them back for a final tomorrow. Pass Gonzalez and a base hit for Devontae Brown to start this 8th, and that'll bring the tying run to the plate.
Boy, it looked like Gonzalez is playing way off the line. Look how far he is off the line. That's normally a routine ground ball to third, and gets to Gonzalez's right because he is so far over towards shortstop. You just don't see that a lot versus right-handed hitters.
Oh.
Here's Wojtek Menchik. Third baseman playing short today has committed a couple of errors, 0 for 2.
Look where Gonzalez is playing now. He's inside that cut of the grass, about 10-12 feet away from the base. That's more traditional third base positioning. And for whatever reason, their book on Brown is that you can get over in that 6-hole. Certainly burned them there.
Brown 4 of 6 on the bases this year. Tying run at the plate in Menchik, who has homered 5 times this year. Menchik was discovered when the Czech national team played a couple of fall exhibition games against NC State as part of a U.S. tour in 2017. He and one of his teammates ended up enrolling at State. 3-1. Luke Murphy's 3-1 pitch. Ball caught the edge.
3-2.
Menchik did not agree.
And you got to give C.J. Rodriguez all the credit right there. I mean, this kid can receive a baseball with anybody in America. Watch how still the glove stays and how he receives this ball back in towards his body. I mean, that is something special right there.
Chopper up the middle, tough play. Nolan takes care of Menchik, but Brown moves to second.
Now that's where a catcher can really save you something right there, isn't it? You instead of a walk and first and second, nobody out, you got an out and a runner on second base.
And I think the nuance of it is what's important at the college level. Talking with CJ about it, the idea is to be able to frame a pitch without making it look like a frame.
That's right.
And that's a big jump for a catcher to make going from high school to college ball.
But the best ones will steal you pitches time and time again when they can do it that easily.
Yeah, I mean, just think about the impact he's had on the game today. You pick a runner off at second, a big situation. You got an RBI single and countless steals on borderline pitches he's gotten today.
And what I like is, like, that pitch right there, he doesn't work for that one. He's not going to try to steal every pitch, right? But he knows the ones he thinks he can get, and boy, does he do a great job of presenting it in a way that the umpire sees it the way he wants him to.
Carson Falskin with an opportunity to start in this game due to JT Jarrett being unavailable. Starting second baseman. His dad Tim played at Long Beach State. That included a trip to Omaha in 1993 with the Dirtbags. And his uncle Mike Scott won the Cy Young in '86. Flamethrower for the Astros.
Ball.
Also played for the Mets.
2-1.
Falskin 1 for 3 with a couple of strikeouts. On the edge again, 2-2.
I think if you're Falskin at this point, you know, it's 94-95, and Luke Murphy has been challenging with the fastball. This is where you got to set your sights out front of home plate and try to get a fastball right back over Murphy's head. Got to be ready for the heater here.
Ball inside. 3-2.
Yeah, I mean, for Murphy, it's almost all fastballs. And why you would even think about looking for anything else, I don't know. Now, it's a little bit different. Not so much for the left-handed batters, but he steps way across his body, does Murphy. His line towards home plate is not a direct line.
Payoff to Falskin. Upstairs, ball 4. Guess who's coming up? The pitcher turned hitter, Sam Highfield, did not have a plate appearance this season. He is 3 for 3. He is trying to become the first NC State hitter in history with a 4-hit game in Omaha. Johnny Butler had 3 against Stanford in '68. Dennis Punch against Texas and Chris Kamak against Southern Illinois each had 3-hit games.
Sam Highfield proving that batting practice is overrated.
Coach, I saw what Highfield did in Omaha. I'm just going to get some hacks.
Yeah, like, I mean, my man ain't hit since he was raking in high school, and he just stands up against Kumar Rocker and gets a couple knocks, then gets another one off McIlvain, and it was him who broke up the no-no against Kumar his first time up. A backside rocket past Keegan, and that's where, oh, that's cute. Then another bullet in the 6-hole, and then muscles one into left center field, and all of a sudden, Ben, you're like, wait a second, this kid's real.
Yeah, he gonna get some looks next year, huh? Have a feeling he just might be in the lineup tomorrow too.
No doubt.
And the next time he pitches, he may just hit for himself,
which may be tomorrow.
Which very well could be tomorrow.
So we started the game by talking about NC State's pitching availability and how far and how deep you want to go in this game. They have forced Vanderbilt to use all of their bullets out of the bullpen.
They still got Maldonado, but they've used 3/4 of the ones that they would normally go to.
Pitched 7 1/3 scoreless in Game 6 against Vandy.
Take a picture of that.
1,000.
You got to get a screenshot of that.
Get a little respect now.
Breaking ball, breaking ball.
Got a mound visit. Got to talk about how you want to pitch him. Then you get back-to-back breaking balls from a guy who's fed nothing but fastballs today.
And now you're in a green light special right here.
Brown at second, Falskin at first. The 2-0. Rodriguez pulls it up 2-1. Eleven Ks for Kumar over 6. Two and two.
And if you're Murphy, you want to stay right there. The last 2 fastballs right at the bottom half of the strike zone. And the hope would be you could get him to top one right to one of your left side infielders, because you got to believe he's certainly a double play candidate.
Upstairs, Highfield looking for a little redemption. He was picked off second base in the 7th inning. Turned into a missed chance for the Wolfpack. They left the bases loaded in the 7th. Here's the payoff with 2 on. Strike 3 called. Highfield retired for the first time in this game. He thought it was ball 4.
Boy, Luke Murphy, huh? Got down 2-0. Back-to-back breaking balls 2-0, but the fastball got him back in the count, and then 3-2 count right at the bottom of the knees. There's that 4-seam grip, 4-seam fastball, and C.J. Rodriguez out in front, thumb under the ball. Watch him reach out right there.
Just sticking it And he definitely was over the plate. And Rodriguez, again, doing a great job of making sure that ball doesn't get called down. And you know Kumar's fired up about that one.
Eddie Iser, making just his second start this season, comes to the plate in the 8th with a tying run at first base. He is 0 for 8 this year. Fouled off. Talked about the giants that NC State has had to slay to get to this point. They have faced all 3 Golden Spikes Award finalists since the Super Regional Final when they knocked out Casey Cops in Arkansas. Kevin Cops, pardon me, 1 ball and 2 strikes. Go back to 1983. Jim Valvano wins the national championship. They had to knock off Michael Jordan in North Carolina in the ACC tournament. Ralph Sampson in Virginia, not once but twice on their way to the Final Four. And then the national championship against Phi Slamma Jamma. It was a team that had to win the ACC tournament just to get in to March Madness. Tap to the right side. Nolan has it. And that'll close the state 8th. Another missed opportunity. They have stranded 5 over the last 2 innings as we head to the 9th.
We are back at TD Ameritrade Park in Omaha, Nebraska, where we have been treated to one of the more unique games that I can remember. Vanderbilt up 3-1 here headed to the 9th, but we have seen a little bit of everything in this one, yet the Wolfpack have found a way to stay within striking distance. Can they get 3 outs? Can they keep it just at 2 runs and give themselves a chance to win this thing in the bottom of the 9th? Will be interesting to see here as we head to the last.
Well, that's the idea, you know, and they've had so many chances, especially the last couple innings. I mean, they've stranded 5, bases loaded 2 innings ago, 2nd and 3rd, and just hadn't been able to come up with the big hit.
Here's Troy Leneve to lead off the 9th for Vanderbilt. Fantastic job by Garrett Payne and Dalton Feeney in this game.
Unbelievable.
Let's work on the idea that NC State doesn't have enough to get back in this game. They put these guys who don't normally play in the position to get their feet wet. They come out here to play 9 innings. They could get through with only using 2 starting pitchers. What kind of advantage is it? The guys who have played out of position have gotten a few reps today on this stage going into what would be the final tomorrow.
I think it's a huge advantage just to have been out there in the arena, right? We talked about the fact that they've been able to get into the bullpen. You found something with Highfill. He seems comfortable out there, right? Now, Minshik might have you a little uncomfortable, the fact that he looks a little less consistent than you would see him at third base. But look, all in all, you got pitchers answer the bell. You've played catch well enough to keep yourself in the bullpen. I mean, in the ballgame. And at the end of the day, you got a Vanderbilt offense that's just not clicking.
It's not clicking. You're right. Yeah, no, I think the position players will be much comfortable tomorrow. A lot more. The question is do we have enough arms to really compete tomorrow? Because you know Payne and Feeney are out for tomorrow. There's no way they can continue.
Here's Falskin at second.
And what I'm interested to see is will Vandy go with Jack Leiter?
This week's Sunday Night Baseball game is a series finale between the Cubs and the Dodgers. Clayton Kershaw scheduled to get the ball for L.A. Our coverage begins at 6 Eastern, 3 Pacific with Baseball Tonight's Sunday Night Countdown on ESPN and the app. 1 app, 1 tap.
So when did Leiter throw last? What day was it?
Monday.
Monday. So he'll have Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday off.
What do you think?
Well, you know where I stand.
Well, people at home may not, so go ahead and say it out loud again.
Well, I think they could. I mean, I worry for a guy so high profile to bring him. But now we're used to going from a, sometimes from a Friday to a Thursday, or from, when Jack typically pitched was in games 2, to a day up. But to short him 2 days, I don't know. Now, I guess it's doable, but you can't have the same pitch count for me. Like, instead of him going 100, I think it's more 70 in that range.
He went 123 against North Carolina State last time out.
And that's a concern if you short him 2 days.
Yeah, so for me, it's 2 things. Number 1, heavy workload. Number 2, short 2 days. And number 3, can you win the national championship? Because that's what you came here to do.
Right.
Win the whole thing. And if you get there, you're playing a Texas or Mississippi State team that is going to require that you really pitch well, especially with an offense that maybe isn't quite feeling it right now. So to me, it's a pretty easy decision. You got to win the game tomorrow with Patrick Riley on the bump to start, and hope that your offense and Riley can answer the bell.
Yep.
And then now you got Leiter in game 1 on full rest.
Well, and number 4 is, remember, second-year player pitched 20 innings last year. He's never had a workload Leiter like he's had this year.
C.J. Rodriguez watches it up and in. We were talking with Tim Corbin this morning, and we presented him with just the general philosophy. Do you play here at this point of the week to win a national championship, or to get the chance to play for a national championship? And Corbs gave us one.
Well, you knew that's what you were going to get.
Yeah. Had to ask.
I don't think Javier Veras is going to spend much time over at first base. I just get the feeling he.
Already got one today. 2-0 now. So if you don't need Leiter tomorrow, you've got him for game 1 of the CWS Finals Monday, and then maybe you have Rocker available game 2 or 3 for just a smattering of pitches.
So you got Little, right? If you're forecasting that out, and then you see what game 3 brings, right? If it goes that far. But I just think because of the increased workload, and as you said, Ben, not just his previous start, but at a point where he's never been in his career workload-wise, right? I think if your sights are on winning the whole thing, to me, it makes the most sense to try to win tomorrow with Riley to start the game.
Yeah, so if Rocker went today, then yeah, he could give you maybe on Wednesday a few innings. That's another arm you could add to it.
Do you think Heifel starts tomorrow for State?
I do. Yeah.
I'd let him hit.
I think he does both.
That'd be the old Ohtani route.
Yeah. I mean, at this point, they might not have many options. He's just proven to you they already put him at first base today, and he got 3 knocks. So if he pitches, other than the fact that maybe, you haven't seen him do it, but he did it all through his high school career. So, he can be comfortable in that spot.
Runner goes. Pitch is a strike. Throw to second is high. Kept his foot down, and Javier Vaz 2 for 2 on stolen bases today.
Well, Javier Vaz has been a difference maker. Comes from junior college, LSU-E in Eunice, Louisiana, and he can go, folks. And that's why he was originally put in this lineup several weeks ago, is to get in there and play defense and make something happen with his legs. Now the bats come around.
LSU Eunice win a national title this year?
They did. Coach Willis won his 7th national title.
7. Wow.
7.
Imagine next year, I can picture a lineup where Bradfield's hitting 1 and Vaz is hitting 2.
Oof.
That'd be a nightmare for opposing defenses, specifically catchers.
You got Tresh going down to one knee again with the runner on. Did so in the last. Oh. There's ball 4. Up cam.
Heads up. Or heads down, I guess.
Yeah.
That too.
By the way, reminder, in college, the pitcher and DH are separate positions. So Sam Heifel could start in both, be removed as a pitcher and stay in the game as DH.
I don't think there's any question he's in the game tomorrow.
Sure.
He's going to hit. Whether he pitches or not, we don't know, but he's going to hit.
Parker Nolan has a couple of hits in this one.
So Cooper King is the only bullpen arm left down in the bullpen right now for NC State. Not very often you're down there by yourself. You're the only guy.
State's bullpen kind of has been the difference maker in their wins and losses in this tournament. 20 innings pitched in wins and only 6 earned runs.
Well, it's been a phenomenal run for their pitching staff. We talked about it. They were the only team that came in here with an ERA above 5 to the College World Series, but yet you go back and look. NC State's pitching staff, the last 4 games going into this one, had only allowed 7 earned runs. So they were pitching to a 1.75 ERA. And that's going through the #1 team in the country for 2 games in Arkansas. At their place where they are some kind of explosive.
Seventeenth pitch of the game for Feeney. Well over his previous high. Towards the gap in left center. Butler chasing, coming over to make the play. Came loose, and we got a wild throw back to first. And NC State grabs momentum with a Vanderbilt base running miscue.
Yeah, C.J. Rodriguez was automatically out because he passed the base runner, right?
Yes.
He passed up Javier Vaz by a long shot, so the call was made instantly on a ball that's just a rocket by Parker Noah out in left center field.
Last chance for Pack. It'll be Giles, Murr, and Butler due up. Down 2. The NCAA College World Series is presented by Capital One. What's in your wallet? Omaha, Nebraska side of the College World Series with Chris Budden, Ben McDonald, Chris Burke. I'm Tom Hart. Walk me through what happened, Berkey.
Well, Ben and I have been trying to figure it out. Either C.J. Rodriguez wasn't looking or he just straight forgot the outs. I mean, because he's like grabbing another gear here. And Vaz is like, hey, bro, you got to go back. They caught it. I can't really explain that because it looked like he was looking coming around second base. And Parker Nolan's not only mad that his teammate got doubled off, but Austin Murr robbed him of extra bases in the gap. That was just an odd play there from a really headsy ball player.
Something tells me he thought it was 2 out. I don't know why, though. As hard as he was running and going, it's like he just felt like it was 2 out.
Because if you thought it was 2 outs, when he caught it, you'd have pulled up, right? Like he was like grabbing another gear.
Well, good break for NC State.
Yeah.
See what Elliott Avent has up his sleeve. Check in with Chris.
Danny Carnazzo just ran and he was been the bullpen catcher this entire game. They brought him in for the bullpen. They said, hurry up, you're going to lead off.
Yeah, why not? Monterey, California native. Hitting in Giles' spot. Giles was 0 for 2 with a sac fly. Upstairs to Danny Carnazzo, who has just 1 hit and 12 at bats this season. That came against Louisville back on March 21st. He doesn't have a plate appearance after April 14th.
Well, Sam Highfield doesn't want to hear that as an excuse.
No. Never had one.
Ball.
Luke Murphy behind in the count 3-0. Carnazzo can reach. You get back to the top of the lineup. Murr, Butler, Tresh.
You got a puncher's chance at that point, that's for sure.
Full count.
You kind of had to make him throw another one there when you hadn't had the bat in a couple months. But right here, you got to dial it up and let it rip.
So not only have you not had a bat in a couple months, it's not like you're swinging a bat back in the tunnel. You're out there in the bullpen catching a dude.
Yeah, no doubt. Yeah, he's been out there getting the arms ready.
Pay up to Carnazzo. To short. Carter Young has an error today, but handles that one clean. One down. And now Austin Murr, second team All ACC. From Denmark Township, Minnesota, population 1,348.
0-1.
Two and 0.
Well, and for Murr, it's just get on base by any means necessary, because Butler behind you's got 14 bombs, and if it gets to Tresh, he's got 15. A couple guys that could tie this thing up if you can find your way on base.
Yeah, because Murphy's right at 50% strikes. Like, it's 2 balls and a strike, you know, almost every time.
And a line drive to right at Leneve. Should Vandy hold on, this would force another game tomorrow. The winner of that one will move on to the College World Series Finals beginning Monday night. Here's Johnny Butler.
Good scoop, CJ. Thank you.
Butler leading the ACC in batting. 373 now with 14 home runs. Line drive, that one's going to get down. NC State will bring the tying run to the plate in the ninth.
Well, that's the stroke of the ACC's leading hitter. Just the ability to get that barrel to high velo heater and rock it into right center field. And now Luca Tresh gets his second chance here.
15 bombs on the year. Tie and run, that's all you can ask for, right? Get that tie and run to the plate in the ninth.
Had a chance to tie it up his last day, be coming up with the bases loaded.
Popped up to leave him loaded in the seventh. First pitch strike. Remember, NC State came up with a home run when they needed it. First matchup with Vanderbilt. It came off of Jack Leiter. That would be all the offense needed in a 1-0 state win. 0-2.
Might be the first breaking ball we've seen Murphy land there, Ben.
It has been heavy on the heater. He has fished a few of them in there, but not many for strikes.
0-2 to Tresh.
Yeah, look, you wonder moving forward for Vanderbilt. I mean, Murphy's going to throw 50 pitches.
Yeah.
Today. You wonder if he's even available tomorrow.
Yeah.
And that's their dude. I mean, that's the guy at the back end. The Maldonado's good too, but they've been using Murphy more right at the back end lately.
The 1-2 pitch. Upstairs, 2-2.
Now, McElvain only threw 18 pitches, so you know he's available. Fisher threw 4, so of course he's available. And Maldonado tomorrow. The question is, who starts for Vanderbilt if it ends like it is right now?
Here's the 2-2. It's low, ball 3. Payoff to Tresh. Fouled it straight back. The finality of the college baseball postseason. You can have an amazing season, be prepped to win a national championship, and it can all end on one swing. NC State has wiggle room thanks to a 2-0 start. Vandy must win this game to play on tomorrow. Runner goes.
Ball 4.
Ball 4. Wow. And a winning run coming to the plate here in the ninth.
And Devontae Brown, who's already got 2 base hits today now. 2 for 4.
Brown started this game with a diving catch in right field that showed that NC State was here to play, despite only having 13 players available. Pitching coach Scott Brown out to chat with Murphy. And they force more Vanderbilt action. Brown had a big knock against Stanford on Saturday.
Yeah, a little Apo Taco here just to show you the kind of juice this young man has. A bomb to right center field. And he can take you deep to the big part of the park. So traditionally in a situation like this, Ben, the mindset is throw away, right? Pitch to the outside edge so that they can't take you deep. But Devontae Brown has proven that he can go oppo on you.
Yeah. And the ball was jumping that day. Now the park today feels a little bit different to me. But then I'm with you. I still think he has the juice. If he gets the right inside-out swing, he can bring it to right center field for a home run.
3 of his 6 hits in the regionals were home runs.
4-1.
1-0. Devontae Brown is a junior from Noonan, Georgia. Elliot Avent was telling us about his power as a hitter. Ground ball to short. Young goes the easy way. Nothing easy for Vandy in this one, but the Commodores survive and they force it Saturday, if necessary, game with a 3-1 win.
Well, it wasn't pretty, but Vanderbilt's showing you their grit, and man, it is nice to have that dude on the bump when you're in an elimination game. And of course, Kumar Rocker is the player of this game. Always comes up big when Vandy needs him the most.
Today's Capital One rewarding performance for a guy who knows how to win in the postseason.
Yes, he does. How about 7-0 in his career in the postseason? That's pretty good. 6 innings pitched, 11 punch outs, and the big man comes through again on the big stage.
One more game to go later tonight on ESPN. It'll be Texas and Mississippi State. The Longhorns need a win to force another game tomorrow. 6:55 Central, the start time for Texas and Mississippi State. 7:55 Eastern. It'll be Ravi, Eduardo, KP, and Chris for that one. What a wild day at the ballpark already. Game started late because of safety protocols and COVID issues for NC State. They gave it a go, and they'll have one more chance tomorrow. For Ben McDonald, Chris Burke, Chris Budden, our fantastic crew, I'm Tom Hart. Daily Wagers coming up next.